All right. We should be live right now. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan. Thank you all for joining me tonight on this episode of ABL Live. You all could be anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me, and I really, really appreciate y'all for that. We got quite a few topics on deck. Donald Trump is not going to impose the tariffs on Mexico because we're able to reach an agreement with them. People are kind of skeptical, talking about, oh, they're not going to do it. They're not going to follow through. Well, we'll see. We'll see if they really put more troops down at their southern border of Mexico and Guatemala. We'll see if they really are starting to hand out more humanitarian visas and whatnot to migrants in their country rather than allowing them to come freely through theirs. We'll see if they up the enforcement efforts. One thing about Mexico is that you got a lot of the cartel that are pretty much in bed with the police. So hopefully they can do something with that, because we got too many people coming through the border. And what we need most of all is to get that wall built ASAP. Hopefully we can get that done soon. That's the main thing I want to see. I don't know about you guys. Did you guys see the Christian pastor get arrested in Toronto for street preaching? Talking about the people in the area, I guess it was the gay community. They're talking about he was harassing them and saying homophobic things. He said nothing of the sort. He was being very calm, very generous, very kind. Joe Biden flip-flopping. What does he believe? What doesn't he believe? We'll talk about all those things and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining. Like I said, you could be anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show. Also, we got more YouTubers being demonetized. You know, I did a video about it, and we spoke about it before on the last show. You know, it's Steven Crowder, but now it's kind of expanded. Now it's to the point where you got, you know, educational channels, quote unquote, being demonetized, teachers, at colleges, high schools complaining that the videos that they had uploaded for educational tools only have been deleted. So, you know, this guy over at Vox, whose name shall not be said by me, this guy decided he wanted to attack one individual and doesn't understand the way these things work. You can't just attack one person. You got to attack everybody that could possibly fall up under that umbrella. Okay? It's not just as simple as, it's not isolated like I'm just trying to fight him. It's, you represent Vox, which is $1 billion company with capital infused by Disney, which is like one of the biggest companies on planet Earth. Okay, it's you, the company headed up by Disney and a bunch of other investors, against the YouTube platform in its entirety. See, but people in that type of that have that kind of brain that are so vindictive and hateful don't even understand that. All they know is, I'm trying to attack this one person. You're not going to see how others are affected until it happens. You got your own friends being affected by the situation. Okay. It was hilarious to see this dude from Vox go on Twitter talking about, I didn't mean for this to happen. I didn't mean, you can't control it. You can't set a fire and then be mad about where the fire spreads. The fire will spread wherever the wind takes it, wherever there's fuel, wherever there's, something that is combustible. Okay, it's like setting a fire on one tree in the woods in California. Like, it's just going to stay on that one tree. It's going to spread. Now you have a wildfire and everybody's affected based upon the one tree you were trying to burn. That's what he's doing. But see, people that are just low IQ, small-minded, and vindictive and hateful don't even understand that, because they're not thinking about anything else other than themselves. But he'll learn, and he's going to learn today. A lot of his friends are not going to be his friends anymore, because they know that he's the reason why they got their platforms ruined, or they got their platforms, kind of shaken a little bit. Now, the silver lining here is that a lot of these guys, thank you, Snow White, for the love on the 1776. I appreciate that. If anybody wants those flags, they're in the description box below. But the silver lining here to the whole demonetization thing is that some people, if not all people that have been demonetized, are able to reapply in 30 days. And I was thinking that would be the case from the very beginning, because the 30 days, what that does is gives YouTube enough time to kind of weather out the storm. Right now, the story is real hot from Vox. Right now, the pressure is on not only from Vox, but other platforms. You see the way they do? Vox will put out a story, okay? And other so-called news organizations will pick up on it and they'll dogpile. So you got 20 articles all attacking YouTube at once. That causes the advertisers to freak out, and YouTube's got to respond to keep the ad money coming in, which is fueling the whole operation. If the ad money is gone, then nobody's going to be able to have a platform anymore, not just Steven Crowder. So it's really them just trying to prevent a bunch of loss, YouTube that is. So in 30 days, the smoke will clear. Nobody's going to care about this dude from Vox anymore, and you'll be able to come back. Now, as far as the future, any kind of future attacks like this, I'm not really sure what the plan is going forward. I think they're going to try to be more strict on what videos get monetized, you know, or they're going to restrict the views in the beginning. I know I've been on YouTube long enough to understand the tricks they do. They'll like demonetize a video for a little while, like within the first couple of days, which is the most important days, because that's when the video first comes out. Then they'll monetize it afterwards. Maybe I'm kind of wrong on that, but that could be a thing that they do to minimize the impact on the advertiser, just to please them and make sure all the money's coming in. So that's what's going on with that. And I'm glad you guys are liking the flags. If anybody wants those, they come from my man, bhedesigns.com. The one back here, well, both of them really, I had made to order. You know, I had them custom. It was like, okay, I want the 1776, Betsy Ross stars, We the People on the bottom here. And then the flag behind me here, you can't see it right now, but it has the stars. See, the stars on this one also are the same way. They're recessed in there. The stars I had before were just like stickers, and it looked good, but the ones behind me and the one on this flag, it's a more of a quality craftsmanship. So when you see it in person, when you touch it, it's really, really nice. It's great wood. It's fantastic. But what else we got going on? Now that the Christian pastor that got arrested, I mean, the news media up there in Canada is, I would say, if not worse, it's on par with how bad our news media is here. There was one point where the person was saying that everybody has sinned, all heterosexuals and all homosexuals. And they played that clip where you said heterosexuals and homosexuals, but the part where you said heterosexual before homosexual was kind of ducked down as far as the audio is concerned, because of the newscaster was speaking. So you couldn't even hear that part. All you heard was what was audible after the audio was ducking down and the newscaster stopped speaking, which was homosexuals have sinned. You didn't hear that heterosexuals have sinned because it was muffled, and they did that intentionally. You know, that's the kind of things they do over here. Just little stuff that they do to mess with you, to make you hear a thing that wasn't really true. It's like they'll tell you the truth, but they'll tell you the truth in a deceptive way. You know, and that's what I don't like about the news. If you are intentionally being deceptive, you're fake. You are fake news if you're being deceptive. Just be honest. Tell me the story as it is. Give me the clear black and white. That's why I like local news for stories that happen, because generally they're not as good as obfuscating the truth. They got to tell you what's going on, and pretty much that's it. You know, these people are just regular, everyday people that came from college, just trying to work. So they're not really going to be giving you this big spin and crazy narrative on the story most of the time. We're talking about local news. Half truths. That's right, William. So, yeah, local news and just reading a bunch of different news sources. You'll get so many different spins. At a certain point, you may get the actual story. News program A may spin it a certain way to where a particular fact is not really highlighted or is straight omitted. News story B will do the same thing, but it'll focus on different parts of the story. So they'll put in a fact that the other station did not, but they remove a fact that the other station had in. You see, so when you just piece the stories together, you're able to get a total thing. And it shouldn't even really be like that. You should be able to just have the story be told for, 100% verbatim, but that's not always the case. And that's really a shame. Yeah, Mueller pulled that. Yeah, with the reading of the report, talking about I can't say that he didn't do anything. Well, what do you mean? Either he did or he didn't. It ain't no in between. If somebody is guilty of a crime or you think they're guilty, then say so. Don't be like, well, I don't really know and all this and that. That's not how things operate. Not in the least bit. Yeah, the local news, most of them are syndicates, but the anchors are less likely to spin a particular story like the national news is, if that makes any sense. The newsroom is less capable of doing it the way that they may try to spin it, but it wouldn't be as good as, primetime CNN or NBC or something like that, to where it's really believable. And then on top of that, with local news, if a story happened in a place, people that live here or that live in the area are going to call you on it. Social media has been a blessing, because after every story about a situation, if the local news media puts out a fake piece of information or is misleading, you're going to see all the locals come into the comment section on the website, on the Facebook page, especially Twitter or whatever, and give you the real story. So that's not necessarily how things operate with national news. With national news, you got people that are relying upon this story because they're not at the place where it happened. But local news, people generally know what happened. And when the news media reports it wrong, then they're better able to connect with them and say, hey, that's right. I mean, that's not right. That's wrong. Thank you, Joe Council. Definitely appreciate it. Shout out to Zealand Zen, Willman757, Liza Jean, I see you. All right, what else we got here? And thank you all for joining. If you're just not coming in, please give me a thumbs up on the video. Like the video. Also, share the video if you're able to without getting into too much trouble. I'd appreciate it. And if you are a first-time viewer, please subscribe to the channel. That'll just do me a fantastic favor right there. Mexico tariffs been abandoned because Trump was able to reach a trade agreement. We'll see what happens. People are skeptical, talking about Mexico won't follow through. You're being deceived. You folded. Only time's going to tell. I mean, we getting the wall built up slowly but surely. People wanting that wall to be built like instantly. They wanted Trump as soon as he came into office in January 2017 to have the wall built by March 2017. Like a little over a month after you get in office, built the wall already. It's like, come on, man, these things take time. We're making progress, but it's not as simple as just, building a Chuck E. Cheese or a Chick-fil-A or something like that. It takes a little bit of time. You got all kind of different jurisdictions. You got regulations. You got geographical issues. You got money issues. You got a lot of different things happening. Political stuff. The left trying to block it. Judges trying to block it. Appeals courts trying to block it. So many different things going on. It's more difficult than what it may seem to be. And people trying to say, oh, Mexico's not paying for it. Well, let's see if they come through with this deal. They're going to have to spend some money on that. So that's paying for the wall, in my humble opinion. When he said that Mexico would pay for the wall during the campaign, I did not think that you would have Jose Pena, whoever the president is, come out there with them big checks like he just won a lottery and say, here's $1 million built. It wasn't going to be like that. It was a matter of they're going to pay for it in different ways, having to harbor more people in their country and pay for their care, medical, dental, food, housing, all this different. giving them humanitarian visas, they're going to have an influx of people in their country because we're not going to allow them to come in. So if we're able to build the wall, then they're going to have less individuals coming to their country. So it'll be less of a burden on them. It's really simple. So they'll pay for it one way or another. Yeah, see, the thing about it, Mexico has a border, if I'm not mistaken, a border wall on the southern border. I mean, I could be wrong, but if they don't, they need one. That's not even a large amount of land. It's pretty narrow right there between Guatemala and Mexico. So they should be able to build that. It's not really, it shouldn't really be a tall order for them to build a wall right there if there's not already one. And if there is one, then they should just be able to patrol it better. I think they're going to add like 6,000 troops down there at the southern border between Mexico and Guatemala. We'll see. We'll see if they actually do it. Yeah, and a trade deal. That's right. So we got trade, security, all that. And we'll see what happens, in the near future. Hold on, give me 1 second, guys. I'm gonna just put this on my social media, and if y'all want to do that too, I definitely appreciate it. Alrighty, there we go, and one more. Now, what else is going on? Give me 1 second. I think that's pretty much everything that's going on here. YouTubers being demonetized, Christian pastor. Now, the whole thing with the Christian pastor was crazy because the media out there was just totally misrepresenting him. And that wouldn't happen if he was an Islamic preacher. Not at all. If he was an Islamic preacher, then everything would be just fine. 100% fine. Tim Pool was reporting. Yeah, Mexico's border is only 200 miles long. That's not long ago. I think we got like 2,000 miles, and we got more challenging geography and terrain to deal with. A shout out to Chandler Crump. He said, sad stuff going on. Leftists are so crazy. They threatened that kid because, hold on, he wanted to support the president. Now, I've not heard about that. What happened with that? It seems like they're always trying to threaten somebody because they support the president. Just like that old man over in UK that got knocked down because he had on he didn't have on a MAGA hat. He just was a Trump supporter. Like he had on a hat that appeared to be red, but it was like a pinwheel, red and white. And I didn't see what was on the front. But he was just a Trump supporter over there in UK, and he was getting hands laid on him, getting pushed to the ground. People like that, they always pick on the weak. And that's somebody that's soft. They're a coward. They could pick on a person that they perceive as weak, but not a person that is their strength equivalent or greater. And that's just really whack. Skipper G says, do I have political aspirations? I won't say I have political aspirations more than people want me to have political aspirations. If I'm called to do it, then I'll rock with it. But I won't say that I thought about becoming a politician. It's kind of like Trump, I suppose, in a certain way, where he was always talking about politics, but kind of got pushed into it to a certain extent. Chandler says a kid was selling hot chocolate to support President Trump's wall, and then leftists on Twitter posted a meme about running the kid over. That's crazy. I mean, the left always says how peaceful and tolerant and loving they are. I can't tell. No, matter of fact, I've not really heard them say they're peaceful and tolerant lately. I've not really heard that. They used to be their old thing they would say back in the day. They have upgraded what's going on with them. They're not peaceful and tolerant. They're going to resist. It don't matter if they run over a little boy, if they kill a baby after it's born, full term, post-birth abortion. When a baby is a baby, when the baby is born, it's in your arms, goo goo gaga, they want to kill it then. You see what I'm saying? I saw a story where they're talking about legalize euthanasia for a human being from the left. The left are crazy. That's why Joe Biden had to kind of about face talking about, oh, well, I do not support the moral amendment, not the moral amendment, the Hyde Amendment, because I spoke to women and then I realized how much it hurts. Look, Joe Biden, let's not play games. You said that you supported the Hyde Amendment Wednesday of this week, just 2 or 3 days ago. 72 hours ago, you said you supported the Hyde Amendment. Now, all of a sudden, was it like yesterday, Friday, you said that you don't support it. You spoke to women, but you're 76. You've been in politics since the first dinosaur was discovered. You've been in politics since the Big Bang. You've been in politics since the seventh day where God rested. You've been in politics your entire life. Literally, this guy's been in politics since 1970, civil rights era or shortly thereafter. How did you just now speak to women and find out what's going on? It makes no sense. You've been married twice. You got kids, grandkids, a meemaw, a mama. What are we talking about? Stop lying. You just decided to change your stance because now it's politically expedient to do so. Running for president now, so you can't say stuff like that because the left have hijacked, well, the far left has hijacked the regular left. There is no more moderates, no moderate left. It's all about the extremes. That's pretty much what it is. Sleepy Joe, Sloppy Joe, Lion Joe, Floppy Joe. That's right, Liza Jean. 100%. You know what? The thing about the whole clump of cells thing, Chandler, is if a baby in the womb is a clump of cells, then why have a baby shower? Why name the baby? If you're pregnant, what are you pregnant with? A clump of cells? You got cells all in your body anyway. Cells are like your body is composed of cells. So what are we saying? Do you have some type of, is it a tumor? Is it an abnormal growth? Last time I checked, a tumor cannot become a human being. So let's just be real here. Let's just keep it 1,000. Crying Chuck, line biting, that rhymes. Put that on a t-shirt, Tanya. Yeah, see, the thing about it, Trump was pro-choice. Well, look, Mr. K, that's a good point. Trump was pro-choice. In a 1999 article, he said he was pro-choice. And I think the last time anybody had said that he was pro-choice on any media platform was in 2011. Now, this is now 2019. He became president in 2016. So 5 years before he became the president, he had changed his particular course on that. All right. So that's much different than when you're in the campaign saying one thing one day and then 2 days later say, oh, nah, that ain't what I believe. Trump, 5 years minimum, probably more like 20 years of a change to say I was pro-choice, now I'm pro-life, versus Joe Biden, who changed his viewpoint in 48 hours about abortion. And then about being pro-LGBT, I mean, what makes him not pro-LGBT? No, he wants to protect all Americans. What makes him anti-LGBT? Banning trans from the military is not anti-LGBT. It's just pro-military. The thing about trans people is that what they're doing is they're claiming this disease called gender dysphoria. And if you have a medical ailment, then the government is required to assist you in whatever you got going on. And they say the quote unquote cure for gender dysphoria is gender reassignment surgery. So basically, transgender people are in the military getting sex changes paid for by you, the taxpayer. Now, is that fair? Should I pay to chop off your chicken and berries in the military? I think not. Which is why he banned trans people from the military. It ain't about being gay. He didn't ban homosexuals from the military. That's a big difference. So, just because he has a policy on the books that makes sense does not make him anti-LGBT. So let's not try to compare Creepy Joe with Trump. No person on no presidential candidate or president has been perfect, but come on, Joe is just a mess. And we didn't even get into the whole creepiness, touching on little girls. We didn't get into how he's already low energy, how he's old. How have you been trying to become president since 1988 with no success? Okay, you talking about what, 30, 31, 32 years? I mean, if Joe Biden's failed presidency timeline was a human being, it might already have grandkids by now. It would have kids just like in high school. You understand what I'm saying? Like, he's been trying for so long and failing. So why would you want to vote for him now? And I'm waiting on him to flip flop on the whole crime bill thing. There was an interview that came out recently where somebody said, "Hey, what about the crime bill? You wrote it. Do you regret writing it? Do you think that it went too far?" He was like, "Nah, I wrote it. So that's what I want." So is he going to flip flop on that too? He just said that a few days ago. So what's he going to do once he gets out there in the campaign trail? What's he going to be? It's kind of hard to tell. You know what, Jeb? I would say Jeb Bush was a better candidate than what's a man's name? Joe Biden. And Jeb was terrible. Jeb was just like, Jeb is a big geek, and that's okay to be a big geek, but you can't do that when you're trying to become the president. To be a governor or a state's attorney or a senator, that's perfectly fine. But to be the president, you got to have some type of a charisma. People got to like you. You got to be out there on the world stage, shaking hands, kissing babies. You got to be likable. You got to have a certain character about you that has appeal. Slick Willie had it. Even though I don't like Slick Willie, he had it. Playing a saxophone and talking like, the real kind of laid back Southern guy talking. Barack Obama, he had it. Who else? George W. had the kind of like goofy country guy. They were all relatable. Reagan, he was a Hollywood actor before, so obviously he had some charisma. To be on a silver screen and do stuff like that, you got to have some kind of charisma to you. But Jeb just didn't have it. And Joe has the creepy uncle you keep away from the kids during Thanksgiving dinner. He has that vibe. If you come to Joe Biden's house, he is being put in the basement where the kids are upstairs. That's the kind of vibe that I get from Joe Biden. That's not going to be able to cut it when you're trying to become the president. Okay? It just ain't really going to do it. I keep trying to tell the left to put Michelle Obama and Oprah in there. Oprah has that certain something about her people like, and she's also a superstar, a household name. But they're not going to do that because they want their boy to be in there so they can control him. Okay. So I mean that's fine for me. I say put Joe Biden in there. That's fine because that's going to help us win. So I'm not even really worried about it. Yeah, W was he was a cool guy. They were all like, it's been a common thing. You got to be just like, what's my man's name? McCain had no chance. He was awkward when he would go out on stage because he had gone through the torture and he couldn't raise his arms up. He just didn't look right. How you going to put him against, what's my man's name? How you going to put him against Barack Obama? You might as well have put Sarah Palin as a presidential candidate with McCain as a vice president. It might have been a little bit too early for that. I don't think we probably weren't prepared for that at that particular moment, but that would have been a better choice than to put McCain out there in front. I mean, come on. There's no way that would have been a good choice to become the president. I mean, he passed away, unfortunately, soon thereafter. Like, he's gone now, and that was in 2012 when he was running. So, I mean, it doesn't make much sense, but it is what it is. All right. And thank you to all the super chatters. You guys are great. I really appreciate you. Who do we got here? Thank you to AM for the donation. Thank you to Shredded for the donation. Definitely appreciate you, boss. Thank you to Robert Lewis, who says YouTube is cracking down on conservatives. Take my money while you can. You know what? You know what's funny about this whole situation is that I already had somebody try to flag my videos at the end of last year. And just based upon what I know from the back end, which I won't really reveal, I know what kind of videos might get me in trouble. So I took some preemptive action, which probably shielded me from what's been happening all over the platform. See, some guys are getting demonetized outright just because, just like, okay, you wake up in the morning, here's the email, you've been demonetized. Some guys have videos taken down by YouTube, then they get demonetized, and then they say you can reapply in 30 days. I don't have that because videos that may trigger some kind of negative reaction, I pretty much, you can't see those. So you can't go and flag and try to attack me that way. That's just kind of how that goes. So I think that I was prepared for this in a roundabout way, thanks to a troll that tried to attack my channel. So I appreciate that. Shout out to Upside Production, who says, you got the best old Biden jokes of all times. Hey, I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Shout out to Exploding Pumpkin Productions. That's a fantastic name. Who says Trump and JFK Jr. 2020. If JFK Jr. still alive, what's going on? You think he's going to be able to to run? Nah, JFK Jr. been dead. What are we talking about? Well, thank you for your donation. Definitely appreciate you. Shout out to Deborah Benoit, who says diabetics need insulin, trans need hormones. Neither can be supplied behind broken supply lines. Neither can be in military. Simple. Very good point. You cannot be in the military if you have diabetes. If you have certain vision restrictions, you can't be in the military. If you can't pass a physical test, there's a lot of different ways that you would be excluded from the military. All right. So the transgender people, they're going to need not only the gender reassignment surgery, but also after surgery care. Now, how are you going to be in the military on the front line needing constant medical care? You need to be in a hospital, not on the front lines. And even after your recovery, you're still going to need hormones to go through that whole therapy as well. So after you healed up, after your jank and, has become less tender or whatever it is, you still are going to need to take hormone replacement therapy. And that's going to put you at a disadvantage right there. And you're going to need that constantly, but in the battlefield. How you going to be in the foxhole with some guys and you like, yo, I got to take my estrogen pills? That's not really going to fly. Not at all. So you can't be in the military when you are potentially being a hazard to people out there. Yeah, see, McCain, I guess McCain kind of posed as Republican. He kind of posed as a conservative. And then once it was time for him to go to the upper room, he revealed his true colors and told you what he was really about. Let me see. Thank you to Ken Jones, who says, hey, boss, you're going to stream video games sometime? I think it would be entertaining and break up the same type of streams. I'll do the regular streams on Wednesday and Saturday, but I may do some gaming stuff on the other channel on other days. So you guys can have that as well. But I got to find some time. I'm just so limited on time. That's one thing that, money can't buy, that being a wealthy person can't buy. You can't buy 1 second at a time. And I got to have my personal time and time for my life and time to research. And it's just so much time I want. It's a matter of trying to manage my time a little bit better. I've become a lot better with managing time over the past few months, but I need to get it even better to be able to produce more content. Put it like that. All right. Exactly. Zoda just came sword. You can't be battle ready when you got new genital sealing. It's just not right. Yes, I'm going to get to the calls for just one moment here. Thank y'all for being here. Oh, Jesse Lee Peterson got demonetized. What happened with him was what I was talking about earlier as it relates to some people having 2 videos or more removed, and then they get demonetized, and then they can reapply in 30 days. That's what happened to him. It was 2 videos. I forget what they were, but they got flagged down, demonetized by YouTube, and his whole channel, as a result, got demonetized. So yeah, hopefully he's able to get that back. But as of right now, he is not monetized. But like I said, I've seen this coming. I had it happen to me at the end of last year. Somebody flagged me and took my streaming away for about 90 days. And now I was able to recognize what they were doing and what kind of videos would trigger some kind of negative reaction from YouTube. So I took some preemptive action to make sure that I was protected. So hopefully that helps me in a situation. I've not had any problems since then. I've not had any videos taken down. I've not had any no videos demonetized late, because a sign of a problem would be is if you have a video that's been up for a long time and it gets demonetized randomly, like from 2016, a video with like 10 views on it gets demonetized randomly. It's like, okay, somebody flagged it. Somebody was searching for that to try and get me out of the way. Alrighty. So let me go ahead and get to the calls. I appreciate y'all for joining. Thank you for being here. You know what, Jesse? Breath of the Wild, you cannot stream Nintendo games on YouTube, if I'm not mistaken, because Nintendo is just weird. If you stream a Nintendo game on YouTube, then I think what they do is they take, like, you can't monetize it basically, and it'll be monetized, but you can't make money on it. They may have changed that, but that's the last I heard about it. That's why you don't really see many Nintendo streams on YouTube. You'll see them on Switch, maybe, but not YouTube. And the reason why that is because of the adpocalypse. Because Nintendo did not want to have any kind of extremist stuff and their video games be linked together. That's why that happened. No, Japanese company, they ain't taking no risks. They just want to be, it's just trying to make money, and that's pretty much it. Thank you to 23Raven84 who says, giving my free YouTube money. I appreciate that. Thank y'all. Alrighty. So let me go ahead and get on here. You guys know the drill. The number to call is 434-658-1220. And hopefully Skype wants to comply and play nice today, because I never know what it's going to do from day to day. Alrighty. So I think we're good. Alrighty. Oh, is that changed, Ken Jones? Okay. Yeah, I thought that it might have changed, but I didn't really know. Alrighty. 561, you're online. I'm speaking to.
Hey, Bill, this is Jay from South Florida. How you doing?
Everything's good, man. What's going on?
Not much, man. It's enjoying the good weather down here. Pretty hot down here in the summer, but this is how Florida is.
Oh yeah, and humid too.
Yeah, humid too. Yeah, between May and early August is pretty hot.
Right.
Hey, Bill. I'm a Christian, man, and when I saw that video, what happened to that black Christian pastor, and it made me lose respect for the police, man. Like, it's like, call the police, they have to believe the person who made the first call. They have a slight edge on the person, so it's up to you to prove your innocence. But that cop was very biased. He's gay, I could tell. But the cops need to understand, he's not bothering no one. He's just spreading the word of God. And then when he stopped using his air horn or mic, whatever you call that, he started walking. He wasn't doing anything, and they're still following him. If those people said that these LGBT saying that they're bothered by him, and he walks away and goes somewhere else, and you're still following him, that means it wasn't really about bothering you at that spot. You just don't want him to talk at all. And I noticed that they're becoming more of a terrorist group, especially if they disagree with your beliefs, either you're straight or your beliefs in the religion. And then Caitlin Bennett had a video a couple hours earlier today for the LGBT, when she went to a pride something, I forgot what state, and she was talking about interviewing people, and they assaulted her, and then they called the police on her, saying that she's bothering them while they harass and assault her. And the police pulled her aside and said, if you continue doing this, we gotta You got to get out of here. Even though she said that this is a public area, and the police is siding with the people. So now twice the police is not doing being objective and being biased, and I'm starting to lose respect for the police lately.
Yeah, but see, the one thing about it is that was Toronto. In Canada, that's a whole different ball of wax right there. So, you in a really liberal area, and I would presume that the police are very liberal up there as well. And I don't think that would happen here because you see that, like in New York, you got the Hebrew Israelites out there all day, reading their Bible, screaming, "That's right," all this and that. So I think there's more of a thing that would happen in that particular area of the world. I've not seen it happen here in the States, but I'm not saying they couldn't.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you watch Liberty Hangout, I don't know if you know her, Caitlin Bennett, the gun girl from Infowars.
Yeah.
You can watch her latest video. The LGBT, man, they're not very tolerant. They're very like I said, they're like a terrorist group. And yeah, man. So I'm losing. I really don't support that group because of my beliefs. And then the police, I'm losing a little respect for them because they're not doing what they need to do. As in, she should be allowed to do whatever she wants. She's not bothering. Even though they have video of what happened, they still don't. They're asking her to leave. Still, that don't make no sense.
Right? Yeah, I'm with you.
The second thing is this is off topic, but I watch young American. I forgot what it's called. With Charlie Kirk and he had Betsy DeVos like talking on stage.
Yeah, they're
talking about education.
The Women's Leadership Conference in Dallas.
Right. One day I got to go to one of these. Hopefully I get to meet you there one of these days. But yeah, they were talking about education. How she was talking about Maryland. How basically barely anyone could be literate. I didn't know Maryland was that bad. We talk about Detroit, Oakland, Washington D.C. So I guess anywhere that's predominantly black, that's where the education is the low scores.
Oh yeah, Baltimore, because it's really no excuse for it, but it's just liberal policies to make it that way. You go to Baltimore, it's like that. Outside of D.C., it's like that. Like what's that? Montgomery County, Moco, PG County, Maryland. Yeah, it's like that up there. And it shouldn't be because there's so much money. And that's one thing they talk about a lot. The left, that is, we need to have more money in public education. Or there's plenty of money in Maryland. That's probably the richest state in the nation, or one of the richest states in the nation. But it doesn't make a difference because I can't really call it. I think it's more about the culture of a place that discourages teachers from coming, and also the policies of the people that are there, the teachers unions that don't allow for bad teachers to be removed from a particular place when they don't act right, and also like a school choice.
Yeah, because I'm looking at like fourth graders, 89% of them can't read. They're not literate, and then 87% are not literate in reading, and then 89% is not proficiency in math. And having higher paid teachers, I don't know if you're gonna correct that, ABL, because like I said, me and you are like similar. Like I said, the library is there. That's a free government thing. Most of my learning, like I said, was outside of the classroom. So Betsy DeVos, I know what she's trying to do, but still, what are they doing outside the classroom? That you can't really. What can you do about that, Betsy DeVos? You can't really. You're gonna send somebody to watch them while they're home. He's like, that's the main issue I have with that. That's why I have some disagreement with her about that. Because how do you fix that?
Yeah, I'm with you. I understand that.
And the last thing I want to say, for feminism, abortion. Oh, I had a discussion with a friend of mine. I didn't know she was a radical feminist, but she was talking about my body, my choice when I was telling her about. You say it's the man's responsibility to pay child support, but when it comes to abortion, it's your body, your choice. So either it's his responsibility or not. You gotta make it consistent. So I was telling her, she was talking about, it's a man's fault while these women get abortions because they don't wear a condom. And say, you know what? It takes two to make a baby. You're complicit as well. When he has no choice of whether the child live or not, that means you're the ones you're controlling everything. So either you want the child support money or not, or if you want child support money, that means I have the right to tell you that I want my child to be alive.
That's right. It's got to go both ways. I was talking about that before. You know, I would reform the laws to say if we're going to have abortion be legal, then the man should also be able to relinquish his parental rights and say that I'm not on the hook. Because if the woman can say she's not on the hook, then so should the man. If the man is required to pay child support, then she should be required to have the baby, regardless of what the situation is. So that it just makes sense logically for that to be the case. It can't be a one-way street when one person is able to do whatever they want to do, but the other person can't.
Yeah. One last thing. ABL X-Men, did you see it yet?
No, I've not seen that. I've been hearing about it. I've not really heard good things, but I've not seen it yet.
Okay, all right. I haven't seen it either. So I just want to know if you saw it. That's why I want to hear your opinion about it, but I guess you haven't saw it yet. So, I mean, I made us see it on a Tuesday when it's cheap, but I really don't want to see it because I'm hearing it's all about female empowerment and the female save the man and all. I don't want to hear that nonsense.
Right.
All right, Bill, man. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Hopefully, I get see you tomorrow. O'Shea, last week was very interesting, but hopefully I see you tomorrow.
All right, man. Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you, man. Bye-bye.
All right. Shout out to Jay from South Florida. Definitely appreciate the call. And shout out to everybody who is calling in. The phone lines are blowing up. If you want to get in through Skype, there is an email in the description box for that. You can be right down here in the bottom left-hand corner while I talk to you live. And let's get to a few more calls. The phone lines are jumping, so I'll try to get everybody on as soon as I can. Y'all just hang tight. 502, you know the line who am I speaking to? 502.
Hey, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you well. Who am I speaking to?
All right, it's Nacho.
Nacho, your phone is messing up. I can't hear you.
All right, hold on. All right, is it better?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, I had it on speakers because I was waiting on the call. Anyway, so, you know, I don't really need any recognition, anything, just Nacho. Some may know who I am. I've talked to you before. But what I'm wanting to get at is, you know, I've been watching your show. Nobody's brought it up. Is with the voter ID law, a lot of people, of course, on the right are pushing. My opinion, it's basically pointless because you have a lot of like Republicans pushing for it, but yet in California, anybody can get a driver's license, and all they have to do is mark down they're legal. And I believe the same goes for, you know, Texas. It's going to end up being widespread. What I fear with all this, and it's my prediction that in probably 2024 to 2030, they're going to be forcing everybody to go to, you know, a fingerprint system where you have to fingerprint before you can even vote. I don't agree with that, and I think that would be a violation of the right. And the second part is, I believe, even though Democrats and Republicans don't really agree on everything, we need to find a middle ground and march D.C. and demand some answers and demand change. And, you know, I don't condone violence whatsoever. That's not what I'm getting at, you know. But I think that's the only way we can get, you know, the politicians to actually do their job and to work for the people. Because right now they're working, as you see, some Republicans included, they're working for their own interests. And I see the future going to be, you know, fingerprinting people in order to vote, because most definitely California is making it pointless for a voter ID.
Well, I mean, okay, and so we get to the point of fingerprints. If there's no voter ID, then what do you have?
Well, yeah, I agree. It's a double-edged sword. But would you be okay having to give up your fingerprint for the government to, basically be able to track you down off of your fingerprint and everything else if you've never been convicted of anything.
Well, I'm not really a fan of that, but I don't think I don't think that'll be needed. I think if you had IDs that were given out to actual citizens, I think that it should be illegal to hand out an ID card to an illegal alien. That's a problem right there in itself. I think if we solve that issue of giving out IDs to illegal aliens and then allowing them to register to vote, then I think we'll be able to figure out what's happening. One thing that you got to have, if I'm not mistaken, to register to vote, well, at least here where I'm at in Tennessee, you got to have a birth certificate and other forms of identification to show that you're an actual citizen and to prove who you are. That should be that should be nationwide. You shouldn't just be able to say, "Oh, my name is X, Y, and Z," and give me a license, give me an ID card. That shouldn't be what it is. So we got to tighten that law up right there to fix what's happening.
Okay, but like I was saying just a minute ago, how do you get Democrats on board with, what you're talking about? I totally agree with, what you're saying, but I don't believe you're going to convince a majority of Democrats to say, you know what, this idea makes sense. It's got to be a very, very light middle ground for we, the people, to come together in order to make some type of changes in DC. And
like make it be a federal thing and go to the Supreme Court. We'll be able to win because we got the majority in the Supreme Court. So take it to the Supreme Court and have it be fought out there, and then you see some real change. But if we're just trying to let the states kind of handle that, and they got different things, because the issue is, if you have an election for the president, that's the federal, that's a federal thing. So it should be federal rules for a federal election. I would want to have the same kind of rules be applied to local elections as well. That don't involve federal people, but that might be kind of difficult to do. But definitely for the president, that should be the case.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you have to look back at 2016 when a lot of people got caught for voter fraud. What happened was they got a slap on the hand or only 6 months in jail, and that's it. I'm sorry, I'm not a big fan of the jail system in prison for certain crimes, but if that's all that's going to happen and they can change the outcome of the election, why not do it? That's how these people think, because they can't think logically.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, my opinion, I agree with you're saying, and I love your show, by the way. You give out a lot of great information, but I would love to see a bigger channel actually look into some of the stuff I'm bringing up and actually go more in depth in it, because I mean you make a lot of good points logically.
Right.
Democrats, they're not about logic or facts. They don't care about them. Just like with killing babies, they do not care. There's plenty of videos out there saying they don't care. They're okay with killing their babies. So how do you actually have a conversation with those same people on something that's logical, saying, wait a minute, this can change the outcome of the election? And they won't care, because long as a Democrat gets back in office, that's all they care about. They don't care if somebody gets, a slap on the hand or 6 months in jail for voter fraud. All they care about is their person, as in Democrats, getting back in office.
Right. I'm going to cut you off right here, but I got a few more calls on the line. So thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't mind us keeping it short and sweet, and shout out, to you, and love your show. You have a blessed day, sir.
All right. Thank you for the call, man.
All right.
Shout out to my man Nacho for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. Yeah, I mean, birth certificate, if you want to get an ID, you can't just say, oh, my name is Jose Canseco and give me an ID card, because at that point, now you can do what they call that identity theft. And that's a big time problem in the United States right now. That's a huge problem. You don't want that to be going on. Not at all. So shout out to my man for the call, but let me get to a few more here. Alrighty. Let's get to I call you on the line 347.
It's Joshua.
What's going on, man?
I'm not doing pretty okay as of right now. How you doing, Andy Ryan Logan?
Everything's good, boss. Can't complain.
Yeah, I want to talk about the Pride Month, aka the LG, actually the far left version of the LGBT celebration, because that the out of controlness of the so-called LGBTQ, aka I don't even want to call them. I know the F word. I'm not going to say it because I'm not going to get you banned on YouTube. They're crazy. They're cooking their brains. Like, they want kids to be involved in this nonsense, like Diamond is amazing. And it just shows that there are crazy, insane, perverted people in that community. Hashtag not all.
Nah, but you're right though. I mean, I've seen some of these parades, these pride parades, and you got children. You know, my thing is, all right, if you got two dudes that want to cosplay as Bert and Ernie with no drawers on or something like that, that's their business. I'm not really worried about that. But number one, let's not do that in public. Put some pants on. I ain't trying to see your tallywhacker. But number two, children should not be involved with the situation. I shouldn't be seeing kids dressed up in drag. I saw this, it was like, I forgot what this was. It might have been a clip of a documentary from Vice on Twitter.
Oh, I saw it on Twitter.
Yeah, about kids that were involved in the drag queen scene. I'm like, nah, nope. Anybody involved with that needs to get locked up ASAP.
Right. It's just like not all gay people are like this. Not all, but the majority of them are like this. They're very perverted. Because what I'm trying to get is that if you're like a gay conservative, like the gay Republican, and the hashtag the you know what, I'm talking about that Twitter account, the hashtag, I forgot his Twitter name, but the persistence, like they won't be labeled as gay. They would be labeled as anti-gay, because the far left has taken over that community. They've taken over that community, as I said, and the flag as a weapon of their agenda.
Pretty much, that's how it's going now.
Yeah. And another thing I want to talk is the Mexico tariffs. That it was successful because Trump and Mexico had successfully made a deal for the border wall. So actually, therefore, prevent illegal immigration from going into the United States. My thoughts on this is a good move, because it's getting out of control now. Because last week, I think it was that African, not African American, but no, African illegals were crossing the border.
Yeah, I saw that, because the thing about it, people don't understand. It's not about
just Hispanic.
Yeah, it's not just Hispanic people. People from all over the world come through that border because it's easy to come in. Right. I saw a story that said that they were trying to get in ISIS people from Syria through the southern border, because people get on a plane, they get on a boat, they travel. They'll definitely travel. They can go to some of these small countries and then walk their way or hike their way or ride their way up through the border on land and get in and do whatever they want. You know, they were finding prayer rugs at the border. They're finding all kind of stuff. So, yeah, it's really deep. And you got a lot of Chinese people that come through the southern border with babies. A lot of sick people trying to get medical treatment. People talking about, oh, well, these kids are dying in, DHS custody or Border Patrol custody. It's like, look, how did you know they didn't come there already halfway dead? If they show up at the border about to be, they got 1 foot all the way in the grave and the other foot halfway, and then they die. I mean, whose fault is that? It's not our fault.
It's not their fault. It's not the ISIS fault. It's their fault.
Yeah, I mean, if you're already knocking on death's door, I mean, there's nothing that really can be done. Like people, they try to like the one. I think it was one girl that died, a little girl. She had been brought to like 2 different hospitals in El Paso area, airlifted, all that. What more can be done?
Mm-hmm. Right. And they say that there's no crisis on the border.
Oh, it's definitely a crisis. Ask Mexico if there's a crisis on the border. They tell you it's a crisis because they got to deal with it now too. If it wasn't a crisis, there'd be no need for no border. Like everybody know what's going on. We're not trying to have all this stuff come through. We got drugs, guns, human trafficking, all that coming through the border constantly, all day, every day. We got an opioid crisis going on right now, and people aren't putting 2 and 2 together and thinking, hey, wait a minute, maybe if we just stem the flow of all these illegal drugs, fake drugs, knockoff drugs coming through the border, they come from all over the world, maybe, just maybe, we'd be able to put a little bit of a dent into the opioid crisis. They don't think like that because they're all about race. They're not thinking in a logical way.
Right. And one more thing I want to talk about is my problems with the right is that they are very short-tempered. Well, some of them are very short-tempered. Like I know you don't know these two. One of them is actually 3 of them is Ann Coulter, the Red Elephants, and the the Colombian group, Bulgar. You probably know of them.
Who?
The Colombian Bull is BULGE.
No, I don't.
Oh, all right. But they have her and Ann Coulter and the Red Elephants.
Okay, what's going on with that?
Is that they act too impatiently with Trump
okay, I understand. Yeah, I mean, you're gonna have that. People not really getting their way right when they want it. That's just, that's just people that are like that regardless of what's going on. They want what they want right now, and some think that they're actually like doing the good thing. If they put the pressure on Trump, then he'd be able to get things done faster. It's like a little kid in the car talking about, are we there yet? Like that's gonna help the car go faster and get to where you're going any quicker. That's pretty much what that is. But yeah, I don't think that represents the majority of us. It's just those particular individuals, in my opinion.
Right. And the YouTube Vice apocalypse, that guy. What the hell is his problem?
I don't even really know, man, but I'm kind of short on time here, so I got to get to a few more calls. But thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Definitely appreciate you, too.
All right, now, take care.
Take care.
All right, thank you to Joshua for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. And please, no cursing on the line. That'd be fantastic. Let me get to my next call here. 314 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
What's up, man? This is Deontay. How you feeling, man?
Everything's good, boss. What's happening?
Man, not much. Hey, I just want to say a couple quick things. For one, have you seen the what's that? The When They See Us movie or whatever yet?
I've not seen that, and I keep getting asked about that like every day, but I'm gonna watch that probably tomorrow to set aside some time and just go ahead and see it. But I've not seen it yet.
Now check this out. Now we continue to hear this false narrative, not really false narrative, but they keep pushing. The media and a lot of celebrities keep wanting us to believe that Trump was the boogeyman in this situation, right? Mm-hmm. Now, all President Trump did with the information that was given to him, he reacted with his emotions, which I wouldn't blame him. If I was given this information, if I was around at the time, if somebody said there was some people attacked a jogger and beat him and whatever, whether you think they're innocent or guilty, I would probably react the same way. Yeah, anybody that's raping and doing this, yeah, they need to be taken out, right? That's how I would feel too. But you know what they never tell you? They never tell you who were the puppet masters using blackness as a weapon. You know what I'm saying? It was, when you pull back the curtain, it were all Democrats. Linda Fairstein, Ed Koch, the New York Times, Mario Cuomo. These were all Democrats or left-leaning media outlets that weaponized blackness, not Trump. Trump just got the information. But the people who were the puppet masters were all Democrats at the time. Mm. Linda Fairstein, she's a huge Democrat donor and a friend of the Clintons and the Obamas, right? She was the prosecutor who was using their blackness and wilding out and coming up with these terms to kind of equate being black with being animals, right? That was her. She was a Democrat. Ed Koch was the mayor doing the same thing at the time. The New York Times was doing it. Mm. But at the time, the New York Times said when this happened, they put up a headline that says the wolf pack gets their prey. That was the New York Times. Wow. The New York Times did this. And so now they consistently want to tell you what Trump said, but Trump was a citizen. He wasn't part of the system. He wasn't part of drumming anything else. He just got the information and reacted with the information that was given to him. But when you look at the people pulling the puppet masters were all Democrats, or the one lady, I forgot her name, not Fairstein, but the other lady, she was a big-time feminist. That's who did this.
Right. So that's really interesting because, you know, all the heat seems to be going on Trump. Everybody's saying, well, he put out this ad and all this, that, and the third, he's racist. But they're not looking at the publications, the actual people that are out there whose job it is to come out with information, to reveal facts. They were the ones that were really out there trying to push for more than what Trump was.
And the person who, once she received the information, she still wanted, she was like the real puppet master, Linda Fairstein, is a huge Democrat donor. She's a close friend of the Clintons, of Biden, of Obama, of Oprah, of Gayle King, all of these people. She comes from that circle. She was the main person. She was the puppet master. But they're starting to talk about it now because they spoke about it in the movie, but they don't tell you who her friends were, though. Now they're just making it seem like she's some type of lone wolf. But no, she was a part of that circle. Yeah. Ed Koch, Mario Cuomo, like, these were big-time Democrats who were responsible. Like, come on, it gets no more left in the New York Times.
Right, absolutely, 100%, because if you read them right now, it's all Trump hate every day, all day, and it's not like they just adopted that recently. This has been their general thing for years and years and years, so it's not anything new. This is what they've been doing for a long time.
Right, and I try to explain to a lot of brothers and sisters, like, what the Democrats do, they play on your emotions. So they consistently say, "Oh, you got to keep us to protect you from the big bad white Republicans who's going to come and they get in office, man. You guys are what Joe Biden said. They're going to put you back in chains." Yep. So they're consistently playing with our emotions, while at the same time they're the ones going behind our back, cutting us, stabbing us and cutting us and gutting us and doing everything they can, because these are the same, like, and I get sick of this narrative that the party switched. The parties never switched. That's right. And that's what people don't realize. The parties never switched. They never switched. It never happened. Like people keep saying, like, oh man, it was this big shift after the civil rights movement, and everybody and all the Republicans, all the Dixiecrats turned into Republicans. That's BS, because Robert Byrd and them was still Democrats up until the day they died.
That's right. It was only one guy that switched, was only one guy that switched. You can that's on record. Everybody else stayed where they were.
Right. Strom, Thurman, all of these guys, they never switched.
Right.
They never switched. And go and look at I've been some brothers and sisters are starting to catch on to it now. I said, you guys better stop looking at Joe Biden because he was running around with Obama, wearing sunglasses and eating sandwiches and trying to act like he was. You better go look at Joe Biden for real. You better go look at who Joe Biden is for real.
That's right.
Because people keep, oh man, he was with Obama. Come on, man. Like, first of all, you guys don't even know who the hell. You guys don't even know y'all don't even know who Obama was. I'm from Chicago, right?
Right.
Born and raised there. I didn't hear about him until he started running against Alan Keyes. Is that when he ran against Alan Keyes? So supposedly he was like a senator or something like that before that. But we didn't hear about him.
Right.
But then all of a sudden he just swooped up, and everybody, like, I know people from the projects that he was so-called working at, Argyle Gardens. I know people that were there. They said they never seen him.
Right. That was probably just like a little cover for him. It's like, okay, here's your story. You were over here in these projects doing X, Y, and Z, and that's what we're gonna run you on that. People that are actually there is like, no, we never seen him because it was a story that was made up.
Right. So when people, what's going on is they trust him because they think that he has our best interests. So we just like he's the person who gave Chicago Rahm Emanuel. Barack did that.
Right. That's right.
Barack, because he came in there and all the black people trusted him, and Barack says vote for Rahm Emanuel, so let's do it. Rahm Emanuel got in there and they found out Rahm Emanuel was man, he was horrible. He was bad.
That's right.
Because we trusted because people didn't trust Barack because it was our natural instinct to trust him. We trusted Barack because the media told us to trust him.
Mm-hmm.
So man, I was just, when I was looking at this whole thing, and I know I'm kind of getting off subject, when I was looking at this movie, and then I went and did more research about this so-called Central Park 5, and I said, wait a minute, Trump had a very, very small part in this.
Right. Very, very small part.
The major perpetrators, if you believe they're innocent or you believe they're guilty, I'm just talking about the people who use race as a weapon, were all Democrats.
That's right.
They were all Democrats. Fairstein, Ed Koch, Mario Cuomo, the list goes on. And that's all I want to say because, people are running around and even in the movie, when you watch the movie, the movie, it only really mentions something about Trump once or twice. But they're blowing it out of proportion. Like whenever I've been watching interviews from these guys, whenever they get interviewed, the interviewers are going out of their way to ask them, how did you feel when you seen when Trump did this? But they're not asking, how did he feel when Mario Cuomo did it, when Ed Koch did it, when Lyndon Fairstein? They're not asking about none of the Democrats.
Like they're framing the questions in a way to just focus on Trump and have it be all about Trump. But if you ask some real questions, if you got down to what's actually going on, then you would see the greater picture, and Trump wouldn't be the focal point.
And I'm trying to do some research on it also. But a friend of mine who was in New York at the time, he said that what's the lady name on The View?
Joy Behar.
He said that Joy Behar was always on some radio station or something like this at the time, was also calling for the death penalty of these guys.
Wow.
So I'm trying to do my research and find out where. But this gets real interesting because they're not going to bring that up. They're going to hide it and act like they were friends and just focus on Donald Trump. He's the bad guy, not us. Nah, he just got the information that was given to him. But the people who set the trap were all Democrats. And that being said, I'm gonna let you go, brother. I know you got other people on the line.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, peace.
Wow, great call. One thing about Central Park 5, I'm not really up on all the information because I wasn't really interested in it. I'm from Virginia. We ain't know nothing about no New York stuff that was going on. So, that wasn't really a thing I was interested in as a youngin'. But I'm going to look into it some more to get more information so I'm armed with it. And I'm going to also watch the documentary. Ava DuVernay, who was the director of the Central Park 5 Netflix thing, she always puts out information that is halfway true. And I expect the same thing is going to be in Central Park 5, how they see us, whatever that is. Alrighty. So shout out to everybody on the line coming up. Chandler, I see that you added me, boss. Okay, I got you right here. Let's go ahead and get you. Alrighty, Chandler, what's going on?
Oh, hey, Anthony, am I live?
Yes, you are.
Oh, hey, well, this is a surprise. Well, not really, but I uploaded a video earlier today, and I know you were talking about YouTubers getting demonetized and all that, and I wanted to really call and talk a little bit about that issue, if that's okay.
Go for it.
So, like I said, I uploaded a video, and it was instantly demonetized, and that happens a lot for me, so I tried to read through it and go through the cycle again and see if they could be confirmed, and it went through, but no, it came out and it was demonetized. And I've noticed a very active, hold on, let me mute your stream, hold on. Sorry. But yes, I've noticed that YouTube automatically demonetizes videos that I put up. It's very rare for a video of mine to not be demonetized. And I've noticed that this is happening to a lot of people, especially after this whole Vox thing on Thursday. It's a really big issue that conservatives, or really anyone who doesn't toe the progressive line, is punished in a way like this.
Now, okay, I had the same thing happen to me sometimes. Some videos I put up get demonetized, but I know pretty much what's going to get demonetized and what's not going to be. Anything dealing with gun control, abortion, anything like that. If it's a mass shooting.
Yeah, those are the things I can expect. But for me, it's pretty much anything. Like there, like the mini AOC and the mini Ilhans, right? You heard about them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I made a video reacting to those two, and one of them, I made one video, that one was okay, it didn't get demonetized, but the one I uploaded today was demonetized, which makes no sense considering I'm just talking about small people.
Now, yeah, I understand. Now, is there anything in your description or your links that has any kind of keywords that might kind of trigger it?
Absolutely not. I try to be as careful as I can with the tags, the description, and the thumbnail. And what I do is that I upload the video again, and with no tags, no title, no description, to see what YouTube does, and they demonetized that video as well.
Wow.
And so I don't know what it is anymore.
Yeah, I can't tell. I mean, I think what they could be doing is becoming more strict on what can be monetized or not because of the whole Vox situation. They're scared of the advertisers because they don't want to have the advertisers pull the ads from the site. I don't know if you were here in 2017 during the first adpocalypse.
I wasn't around on YouTube, but I was around, if that means anything. I wasn't creating content, but I was consuming it like crazy and sponging in all that information. And so I know all about the history of the various previous adpocalypses and all the big people that caused them, what's going down, what happened again.
Right. So like it's kind of like the same thing that was going on back then, but it's just a little bit more strict now because they're saying that certain things are kind of getting through the cracks apparently, and they're just laying down their hammer on a lot of different things. So, I mean, this could pass. Because during the apocalypse, it was much worse than it is right now.
Yeah.
Everything was getting demonetized. Nobody made money. But then after a certain period of time, it got better. So it may last for a while. I'm not quite sure. People that got their whole channels taken away or demonetized, they got 30 days to reapply, some of them. So maybe after that time, it'll be better. But for right now, I don't know what's going on. It's hard to tell. Sometimes I put up a video and it's fine. And other ones, it's kind of hard to tell what's really going on.
Yeah, and the thing is, when you try to apply for them to confirm it, even if they say, no, it's confirmed that it's not allowed, they don't tell you why. That's insane. Usually when you're punished for something, they at least explain to you what you did. Like even in real life, when you go to jail for something, they tell you what you went to jail for. So if you get out, if it was a small thing you get out, you at least know what not to do in the future. And that's the problem with YouTube. They don't tell you what you did wrong.
And they won't tell you anything because the thing about YouTube is that they're intentionally vague, and they're like that because they want to be able to demonetize people based upon how it's going to be looked at by the advertisers. You can't really put that in any kind of terms of service. They'll just say, okay, terms of service. But when you read it, it's so vague and it's so broad. It can be anybody or anything. It's really no actual terms of service because they don't follow it all the time. They follow it selectively, but they won't tell you that. Because how are you really going to be able to prove it? So it's just one of those things that they do. I hope that they are able to get past this and fix it, but sometimes your faith kind of wavers, but we'll see what happens in the future soon.
Yeah, it's more about the narrative than the virtue within, and with them talking about YouTube. And I don't just want to talk about YouTube,
Gotcha.
but I also wanted to touch on Twitter and Instagram a little bit. And they're doing things like my Twitter account. It had like 13.4 thousand followers, and then over the last few weeks, despite the fact that I've been tweeting and creating content like crazy, it's still been draining. And so I figured that people should start moving to Parlay. I wanted to ask you, are you on Parlay? Parlay?
Well, no, I don't want to be on Parler or Gab or anything because I feel like it's like an echo chamber, and you're not going to be able to get the kind of reach you want. Twitter, even though it has obvious flaws that we all know about, is still the best place to be. Well, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, those are the two. Those are the three biggest ones. Facebook being first, that's the biggest social media network out there. Then you have Instagram, which is also Facebook, and then you have Twitter. Those are very important. When you see the news and they have a tweet from Donald Trump, it's always on Twitter. I mean, Trump could be on a different platform, but Twitter's going to be where everybody sees it, where the left, right, and people that are just kind of not really interested in politics are able to see it. If you go to Parler, it'd be people that are just like yourself and myself over there talking to each other. We can do that in a direct message or on an email thread, So,
but ABL, the problem is that on Twitter, a lot, especially me, but some other people, they're being censored by Twitter so much so that the people that subscribe to their content and want to see their content can't even see their content. And so I see what you mean that Parlay and Gab might be an echo chamber, and I kind of agree. But it's the best place to get to the people who want to hear your stuff. Twitter is the best place to find more people, but Parlay is probably the best place to get to those people directly without anyone stepping in the way or anyone endangering that at all. So even if you think it's an echo chamber, I still think you should maybe hop on Parlay just to get into contact with a few of your followers. I definitely know they're on there.
That's a good point. I didn't think about it like that because some people are going to follow you regardless of where you go. So if they can't see you where they want to see you, go to a different place and you're able to be seen. So that makes perfect sense. I didn't think about it like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly why I'm on Parlay. That's exactly why there's a lot of other people on Parlay. And yeah, I agree. It's definitely probably going to be an echo chamber of right-leaning people. And soon enough, it'll be called, a hub for fascists or whatever. But I'm just saying, if you want to get on there and contact your followers, including me and many others, you got to get on there. And I bet Anthony or ABL is still open. It's a lot of the handles are still free. I was lucky enough to get @Chandler.
Oh wow! So, okay.
Yeah. Hey, so if you get Parlay, be sure to follow me. Selfless plug, and like I mentioned before, anybody watching, go check out my YouTube channel, Chandler Crump, my latest videos.
oh, definitely. I'll put your link in there. So, are you on? Like, where are you at? Are you YouTube, Parler?
I'm on YouTube. You haven't seen my channel? It's just Chandler Crump. It's on there.
Oh yeah. I've seen you, but I want to know so everybody out there listening.
Yeah.
Where can they find you? So wherever they are, they can know where you are.
Yeah. So I'm on pretty much everything. On Twitter, I'm @RealCCrump. On Instagram, I'm @Chandler.Crump. On Facebook, I'm just Chandler Crump. On YouTube, I'm just Chandler Crump. And on Parlay, I'm @Chandler. Parlay is pronounced Parlay, but it's spelled PARLER.
Well, there it is. Well, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it. Anything else you
want
to
add?
Before we... Oh, yeah, no problem.
Hey, ABL, before you go, make sure you throw the email address in the description so other people can call in, because I had a little trouble trying to find the email.
Okay, yeah. Was it not in the description?
No, it's not in the description, and it's not in your About page either, so be sure to throw it down there.
Okay, I'll do that.
All right, thanks for having me, ABL. I might call in the future, so just keep things open. See ya.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it.
Bye.
All righty, that was Chandler Crump. You guys go ahead and subscribe to him right now. I'm going to go ahead and put his link in the box here. This would be his YouTube page, but go to all this stuff. Just Google his name, Chandler Crump, and everything comes up. Twitter, I think it's on Instagram, Parler, YouTube, everywhere. Just Google him, find him. Young man. I think Chandler's like, 14 or 15 right now? Young man. And I like seeing the young people that are politically driven. I'm telling you, when I was a youngin', like high school, I had no idea about politics at all. So, some people say that the youth, they're too interested in their phones and all this other stuff. But nah, a lot of the youth I see are really aware of what's happening, and they're going to be the future leaders. So shout out to Chandler. Hey, no problem, Chandler, man. I'm glad I had you on. We can do that some more for sure. And shout out to your father and also your brother, man. Great people, all of them. All righty. So we got a few more calls on the line. You guys on the drill. The number to call is 434-658-1220. And I got some super chats right here I got to read off before we get to the next call. Thank you to Kenshiro Gatame, who says, cancel Netflix and sending to save money here. Hey, I appreciate that. That's a good way to spend it. Thank you for that. Thank you to Jonestown Autopsy, who said Biden was a drug sniffing dog in his past life. That's hilarious. Thank you for that. Thank you to Truth Seeker for the donation. Definitely appreciate you. Thank you to Regine7788, who says, thank you for your level head, relevance, and love for our country, ABL. Well, I thank you for your donation and your support and your very kind words. Definitely appreciate you. Thank you to Kevin Duggan, who says, just keep the border shut till these corporations remember the correct flag to fly. Hey, that's a good comment right there. Thank you for your donation. Thank you to Valerie Rogers, who says Mexico caves. All righty, thank you. Thank you to 23 Raven 84, who said, just be careful, ABL. They're just trying to shut everyone down because you provide better content. I watch you over any news network. Have a great show. Every time I watch your show, I need Chick-fil-A. There we go. Shout out to Chick-fil-A. And thank you for the donation. Definitely appreciate you. Thank you to Stephen Lee for your donations. Thank you to Corey Roberts, who says, I love how the Trump haters say tariffs don't work. Ask Mexico next. Who will pay for the effing wall? I remember that. That was Vicente Fox. I ain't paying for the effing wall. Won't be calling, just checking you out, bro. Your Seven Cities brother. Be well. Hey, thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate it. Shout out to Virginia. 2 Up, 2 Down. And who else we got? Thank you to Snap Turtle, who says, yo, did you get to check out the Taps at? I've not had time. My time is so limited. People are saying I gotta watch. I got homework to do. I gotta check out the Taps Act. I gotta check out the Central Park 5 documentary. I gotta check out the new X-Men movie. If I had like an extra day in the week to do everything, I'd be lit. But thank you for your donation. Definitely appreciate you. Let's get to my next call here. 918 on the line I'm speaking to.
I've not had time. Oh, this is Trey.
All righty.
Yeah. I love that kid Chandler, man. He's going to be the future. He's going to be wrecking people for years.
Absolutely.
But I want to talk about the tariffs. I think I just heard you talking about it, talking about how people said it wasn't going to work, and all of a sudden, you know, they're shutting down the what do they call it? The smugglers, the traffickers.
Yeah, the human trafficking, yeah.
Yeah, and then I heard that they found out that a lot of the money from the caravans is coming from the USA or England, I believe. I don't know if you've heard that.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, like a lot of the caravans are being funded. Oh, and if you do me a favor, turn speakers out in the background for me.
Okay.
Yeah, but a lot of the money is coming from the United States. And yeah, that's pretty clear because a lot of these SJW people that got a lot of money, they're sending money to the caravan to quote unquote help them in their journey to seek refuge. Yeah, that's pretty clear.
Yeah. Now the demonetization, Carlos Mazza, man, I heard that it's like a contrived plan. You know, they walked out of Vox today trying to get more money, even though they broke even. They're still trying to get money.
Well, yeah, that's something else though. It could be related, but it might not be because you got some people over at Vox that are trying to create a media union. So they're trying to be like in contract negotiations to get more money over at Vox. But this guy, Mazza, he might be trying to actually break away from Vox by trying to become like, he's trying to be the Latino Justice Smollett. He's trying to be like, okay, I'm a hate crime victim because I'm gay and because I'm a minority and this white male has been harassing me. So he might be trying to come up off of that, but he doesn't really understand what the collateral damage will be and how widely he will be hated for what he's doing.
Yeah, he did it during Pride Month on purpose.
Yeah, yes, sir, absolutely.
And then he lied and said that Steven Crowder's shirt, what it said, I don't want to say it because I don't want you to get in trouble, but what he said it said, but it's socialism for figs.
Right, yeah, there's no A on the shirt.
Yeah, yeah. And then also I've heard another YouTuber, he said that like a lot of these companies, they don't even think about the ad people that the ad service people, they don't even think about if it really will affect them. Like, you know, the gay population in the United States is only 2% of the population. So they don't even, like Chick-fil-A, when they try to boycott Chick-fil-A, I remember the line being around the corner.
Oh, Chick-fil-A, hey, that's like it's like a national treasure. You're not gonna be able to boycott on Chick-fil-A. Like that ain't gonna happen. Like the average everyday person does not care about some online activist trying to get some attention. They don't care nothing about that. It's like, let me get that number one, hold the pickle, and I want that right now. And if you 5 minutes late, I'm gonna be upset. I don't care about this person talking about boycott.
Yeah. And then I want to talk about just going down the list, the pastor that got arrested. A lot of people, I learned this from Stephen Crowder from watching his show. He's like that most people, like I think the first caller said that he's like, I can't believe the police did that to him. I'm like, first of all, like you said, it was in Canada, and we're the only place that has freedom of speech.
That's right.
We're the only country that has freedom of speech. So you can't. In Canada, they can get away with that. In the UK, they can get away with that. So, yeah.
Right, exactly. See, that's so people take this country for granted. People talking about they want to leave and go somewhere else is like, where are you going to get the freedom that you have right here in the USA? I mean, you can't take it for granted. You can't just act like this is everywhere. No, it's not. The Second Amendment, First Amendment, that's an American thing. That's part of what makes the country so great, because we got freedom to do what we want. It's not so restricted like other places. When you restrict it so much, it's hard for you to advance. You're gonna be kind of stuck in a spot you were when the law came into place that made you not be able to move around freely. So yeah, that's a really important thing that we have.
Oh, another thing about Carlos Maza, Dave Rubin said that Mayor Pete was supposed to come on his show, but he started tweeting to his administration, or his I guess you would call this administration, his campaign, and he canceled his show. And then that's why I think he got Yang on.
Yeah, I saw that too. I saw that too because, like you said, Pete Buttigieg, whatever his name is, he was trying to come on to Rubin, and Mazda got in the way of that. Just nip that in the bud. So the guy's a bully. He's one of these passive aggressive types that claims to be the victim. Like if anybody was to hit him back, he'd start crying. But he wouldn't hit you back because he thinks you weak or he can get away with it. That's a typical bully right there, and I don't like that.
Yeah, I've watched plenty of Steven Crowder's breakdowns of his stuff. I mean, the embarrassing part is not him calling gay; it's that how he said that he takes months and months to come up with this stuff, and Steven Crowder takes it down. I mean, he debunks it in a matter of a day,
that's
a matter of hours.
That's right. That's hilarious.
Yeah. But anyway, thank you for taking my call. I'm going to let these other calls get on.
All right. Thank you for the call, man.
All right.
All right, now. All right. Shout out to the caller. Most certainly appreciate him. Yeah, that's hilarious how you're in the lab for months and months. You probably didn't put money behind it. You got this whole big chart with lines going from place to place with the red marker. You got an airtight case, at least you thought. And then here comes Crowder. In a matter of minutes, it's like having a big domino display set up, and here comes Crowder just pushing the one domino, and everything just falls down in 5 minutes. And you just spent a year setting it up. That's hilarious. That'll kind of get under your skin a little bit there. But let me get to my next call. All right, caller, you on line 617.
Hey, ABL.
All right, what's happening? Who am I speaking to?
Oh, this is Al.
All right, Al, what's going on?
Florida. Not much. I just wanted to talk about the pastor thing real quick.
Yeah.
I'm a Christian myself, and the first thing I'll just say is I agree with you. Your assessment on that video you made about it, where basically he didn't do anything wrong, but again, I'm not sure about what the laws are there in Toronto. I know they do not have freedom of speech, enshrined in their whatever they got constitution wise there. So I'm not sure what the laws are, but from the video we can see that he really didn't do anything wrong, He used the megaphone thing or the microphone. The cop came over, told him to turn the microphone off, and he complied with that. And I don't know if he needed to do that or not, but he complied with that. And then after that, he still was arrested. That being said, though, I'm going to have a criticism of the way this particular pastor and his group acted, because while he didn't do anything wrong, if he was in America, I mean, he definitely wouldn't have been doing anything wrong. But like you mentioned, the Israelites, the black Israelites, I've just moved from New York, and those people out there that are all yelling, screaming, and acting crazy, that just makes Christians look bad. And I not saying that the pastor was doing that particularly, but I feel that he was acting a little bit like he was trying to, this is my opinion, just trying to almost instigate a response from those people to show that Christians are being persecuted. And that to me is sort of, it's like he's got a different agenda than to just spread the word of Christ. And I feel the better way to, if you look at the way Jehovah's Witnesses spread their message, I know a lot of people have various opinions about them, but if you look at the way they act and conduct themselves, what they preach, I would say that would be more aligned with what Jesus did, because I mean they're very polite, very soft-spoken. They're very respectable people. So I just wanted to make that point and see what you think about that.
Well, I think that guy in Toronto was pretty polite. I think what people didn't like was the fact that he was out there in the midst of the people. Now, I'm not a religious guy, so I don't want to have a religious debate. But as far as I know from just what I knew when I was a youngin', going to church and all that, Jesus was out there with the people, talking to the people, just spreading the word that way. It wasn't like, he wasn't necessarily going door to door only. He would be like in the town square talking to people, and he wasn't dressed up fancy and like these mega church pastors. And matter of fact, to pause for a moment, there's an Instagram called Preacher Sneakers. Everybody got to see it. Like, they show some of the pastors' outfits and the stuff they have on. That's a different story. But anyway, Jesus is out there with the people, talking to people. So I don't see that as any different than what the guy that got arrested in Toronto was doing. Now, one thing that's different here is obviously the technology. You got cameras, so everything is streamed, and you're able to see what's going on. Now, he may get some attention by being persecuted, but that's not his fault. If people stop persecuting Christians, then that wouldn't be happening. He is being very respectful, very calm. You got some guys that'll go out there and intentionally antagonize people, but that's not him. Because some people were saying, he just went to that gay area to try and provoke them. First of all, how are you going to provoke somebody by spreading the word of God? But let's just say that you could. He didn't even do that. He went to every area in Toronto on a tour, not just that one area. And on that particular day, he had been to multiple areas already on camera, so nobody can say, you just tried to go to the gay area. So while some preachers or some street pastors, street speakers, whatever you want to call them, may be trying to just get a reaction and get it on camera, I don't think that's really his goal. I think he's just trying to spread the word of God, and it just so happens that people are going to react negatively in certain situations.
I definitely agree with you on everything you said. I just wanted to say, because I mean, I felt he was very polite as well, and his people were very well intentioned, and they all seemed to be very kind. But it just seemed to me a little bit like we should just, as Christians, I feel like we should be more careful, just a little bit more careful in how we, because I agree with you on the whole thing about Jesus was with the people and what out there as one of them. In fact, that's what Paul said. He said to go preach to them as one of them, not like coming to them trying to impose some message on them. I don't know. I just got that feeling from them in particular. I'm just saying that we should Christians. That's a real criticism of us and how we conduct ourselves as Christians. That we should try to be careful not to antagonize, not to, we should try to present the message as well as we can. We're always going to offend people, but again, I'm just saying we should try to do the best we can to do it in a kind, like, humble way. The other thing I wanted to say too is So that's all I want to say about that. But the other thing I wanted to say is that you know, the problem that all these LGBTQ people have with Christianity or with Christians is that they're saying, you know, that we're bigoted towards gay people or whatnot. But what they're referring to is that when Jesus said men that lie with men is a sin, and you made this point before, I'm sure a lot of your audience already understands this, but you know, it's very hard to be a Christian. It's a very difficult life. It's a very narrow path, and there are many things that are sins. So we don't see, like, gluttony, for example, is a sin. So you don't see a lot of fat people saying, "Oh, screw you, Christians," because you know you don't like people that eat a lot. You know, and it's really same thing with, you know, people having sex out of marriage. That is just as much of a sin as having homosexual sex.
You see, now we're getting in the weeds. That's why, because, you know, like, you know, because now you're getting into the mixed fabrics and all this, you know. That's why I'm not religious. When I was growing up, I had all these questions. What about that? What about that? What about this? What about that? And then you get into Bible study, and then you get into different versions of the Bible, King James, New International Version, all this and that, the original Hebrew text. And it's just like, you know, it's just too much, man. You know, how about this? One thing I do know is that it's always good to be good to people and respect people and treat everybody with kindness and just do right in your own life. But when you start to get into, you know, trying to interpret a 1,000-year-old book, it just gets a little bit too murky for me personally. But and nothing against somebody that's a Christian, but for me, it's just too complicated. I
got you. Just one more thing I want to just mention. So we're done with that subject. So just really quick. So we spoke 2 weeks ago about, you know, you were saying that Google isn't a monopoly and that we shouldn't, the government shouldn't step in. And you were saying that, Dr. Shiva had the idea of, you know, competing with these companies through the government, because we have this YouTube stuff going on, which is concerning.
Yeah.
But so this is just my question to you. You were saying that, you know, the government should compete, but do you really think that the government could compete and come up with something that's as insufficient as they are, that could actually compete with something like YouTube that, like you said, makes, what is it, $6 billion, but they cost them $6 billion, but only make $4 billion. So they're actually, as good as it is well put together as Google's products are and YouTube is, it still doesn't even make money. Do you really think that reasonably the government can actually compete with that?
Well, it makes money. It's not a profit though, but it does make money. It's not like it's zero. It makes $4 billion a year, so it does make money. And you also have the same technology used for YouTube TV, which is a strong competitor to other forms of cord cutting options like Sling and all the other stuff. But the government can most certainly do it, because look at the post office. They lose money every year too, probably much more than YouTube does. It's got to be into the billions every year. So, I mean, the government can afford to have a thing that does not actually make money compete with YouTube. I mean, there's no really other way. The only way you can have a thing that competes with YouTube is if you have other big companies like telecommunication companies come up with their own version of YouTube or social media or whatever it is. And then that's going to create more of a, I guess what you might call a monopoly or near monopoly. That's going to require mergers to be able to come up with the capital to be able to do that, and to come up with some kind of way to brace if you lose billions per year. I mean, you could have a Comcast. I think that's now Comcast NBC. Like, if they were to merge with another company, make a big conglomerate, they could do it based upon their capital alone. And also, if they were able to come up with a technology wing, but Google already has all that right there in house. So the best way, in my opinion, would be to have the government come in, because they have an endless pocket.
Yeah. I mean, that was my argument, though, before, was that Google is really a monopoly, even though you could say technically it's not, but because they probably have like something like 60% of the market or something like that. But really, there's just no way anybody compares to them. They're more of a cartel, not just Google, but a few, if you look at them all together. And that was just why I felt I'm against like government getting involved with stuff, but I feel like when it comes to a monopoly is the same sort of animal as the government is. And then if you have a monopoly, it should be subject to the same, like, Bill of Rights, constitutional laws to make sure that they don't infringe on our rights. But that's it for me, man, unless you have anything else to add.
Well, that's pretty much it, man. Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay, man. Have a good night.
All right, now. Take care. All right. Shout out to the caller. Most certainly appreciate him. We got trolls. I've not seen trolls, but I've been kind of focused on the calls. So if we got trolls, I'm going to go ahead and get them up out of here. You know, throw some poison in the holes where they're coming up out of the ground and get them on out. Yeah, YouTube is just the best place. Google is just the best online free service, in my opinion, or one of the best. Really, you could say YouTube, Google, Facebook, and Twitter. Those are the three big ones. And Facebook includes Instagram and other properties, WhatsApp, stuff like that. I think they have Twitter. I think Twitter includes Cash App and Square, and Google includes YouTube and a bunch of stuff. It's like everything. They got so much stuff under their little umbrella of Alphabet, which is the true parent company that they made up. But let me get to my next call. Alrighty, we got Uncle Reggie on the line. Can you hear me, boss? All right, what's going on?
Turn up my volumes on you.
All right, now everything is good.
All right, yeah, I got crowded on your channel. I said something a little off color. One of your moderators got me.
Hey man, got to tighten up.
Yeah, hey man, hats off to the moderators. I promise not to verbalize it. You know, so. This whole thing was about. Let me get right into it. That pastor that we kind of, I kind of know the score. You know, he went down there preaching the word in a place where he knew it was hostile territory. I think he knew that already. You know, I don't want to try to think of what he was thinking, but he knew he was hostile. But what I did notice is, besides all that, someone made a comment on the video that you know, I'm not a Christian, but I can understand. You know, I could see why, you know, why that happened. But my comment was, you don't have to be Christian to have qualifications, you know.
Right.
You don't have to be a Christian to see that when people are being mean or people are being, you know, there's demons, you know, you know what I'm talking about.
No doubt.
Yeah. There's that. Here, did you happen to catch President Trump's? He was talking to Sean Hannity last night.
No, I didn't see that.
Okay, he was on a phone interview. It went on for about a half an hour. He said a lot. You know, he was talking about this investigation with. I mean, this all ties into the Joe Biden theory, not the theory, but the buzz that's going around about Creepy Joe. My theory is that some of this there's new. He said he's gonna. President Trump said he's going to declassify some of the information obtained through the FBI warrants and freedom through the what do they call it? The warrant, the FISA warrant.
FISA warrant, yeah, from the FBI.
Yeah, he's gonna. But I think that he said, I'll quote him a little bit, paraphrase, but it was a quote at the same time that all the he said this before, that a lot of he said 99% of the FBI is good people. You know, they're good. They're doing the right things. He said, but it was the leadership that was the issue. And then he made a quote right after that says, it could go higher than the FBI, and he left it at that.
Nah, okay, that's interesting, because that can be up for interpretation. What's higher than the FBI? Who's really involved? What's going on?
Who's higher than the FBI is the I'm going to say the executive branch. That's all part of the executive branch. There's only two other. There's only two other people that are in charge of that.
That's right.
You know, and that's you know, that has to do with the head of the state at that point. You know, Secretary of State. Yep. You're talking about the executive office itself.
Talking about Barry. Talking about Joe.
Barry and Joe, yeah, they have authority over the intelligence agencies. So,
Right.
But here's the thing: he can't really say what he. I think Creepy Uncle Joe is running for president only so he can be somewhat shielded from scrutiny, maybe, because if Trump goes after him and investigates him and does what they did to him, they could probably say, "Well, look, you're doing you're using the alphabet agencies to come after a candidate of an opposing party," So I think it's a little squeeze play that Uncle Joe's trying to protect himself by running for president. That's just my theory.
Well, it could be that, but at the same time, it's like, okay, if you don't want to have scrutiny, the worst thing to do would be to try to become the president, because they're going to have all kind of scrutiny beyond you. Look what happened to Trump. When he ran for president, everything that he ever did in his whole life came back, and they tried to make a mountain out of a molehill. Everything was being looked through with a fine-tooth comb. They're digging up stuff from Joe Biden from the 70s when he was talking. I'm talking full HD audio, all of that, and they're breaking down everything. They're doing articles on it. I've never seen anything like this when he was in the presidency as a vice president. So if you're trying to avoid scrutiny, this might not be the best way to go about it. It's like trying to hide in the middle of the daytime with a high-vis suit on. It might not be the best thing for you.
No, that's I did a video today about my camouflage. I tested it out in my Coffee in the Wood section, and I hid it in plain sight, and I did a pretty good job. Wearing different. Wait, did you like my aviators, my Creepy Uncle Joe aviators?
Yeah, shout out to the aviators. Yeah, you could just be behind them looking at whatever you want. Nobody could tell.
Yeah. Okay. What else did you have on there? That you had Creepy Uncle Joe, and then the preacher guy. Yeah, he got arrested. Wow. What else did you have on there?
The Tariffs.
Terrorists.
Tariffs
in Mexico. Did they cut a deal?
Yes.
Okay, what was the deal? I know that they were sending Mexico was sending the military paratroopers up to maybe make a buffer zone.
Yeah, I don't know all the details. I heard that they're trying to send more troops to the border between them and Guatemala. Well, I think it said 6,000 troops, if I'm not mistaken. And
the other border.
Yeah, the other border, the Mexico southern border. Yes. And they also are going to start handing out more humanitarian visas in Mexico to the so-called asylum seekers. So, I mean, that's what I know of right now, but there could be more to it, and I'm sure there will be more as the time progresses and we learn more information. But that's what I know right now.
All right, we got to be careful not to turn it into NPCs and then start doing the re-stuff ourselves. We can't do we can't do that.
That's right.
Makes us no better than them. So, yeah, watch out for the NPCs, guys. There's little comments, yeah, the comment section I see some NPC stuff. Even in my own comment section, I see NPC stuff.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, ABL. Yeah, I hope my your guys crowded me on there, and I hope it's only temporary.
Yeah, what you get? You get timed out?
Yeah, I got put in. I got put in time.
Oh yeah, you be back. It's like 300 seconds, so you don't gotta worry about it.
300 seconds.
Yeah.
All right. I'll try to watch my language in there. It was kind of off color, and I was pushing the envelope a little bit. And
okay, yeah, you don't even worry about it. You good?
Another thing I noticed about Trump, he was talking to Hannity in that interview, and every time he says, he's talking about the servers, and he took a pause. It was kind of funny because every time he says the word wiener, he takes a pause, and it's kind of funny because he did. I kid you not.
Trying to emphasize it a little bit.
Yeah, he said the wiener, and then he paused and then said server.
He's a funny guy. He really is.
Yeah, and I think he was doing that, and he has a interesting play on words. He said something about. Did you see the thing about Mars?
About what now?
His tweet about Mars.
No, I didn't.
He was talking about going to Mars and the mission to Mars.
No, I didn't see that. Yeah, okay.
Okay, and at the end it says in the moon, which is part of Mars, or something. We got to have like a little moon base, which I called about 5 years ago, talking about I thought Michael Jackson and there's a couple other guys I said were on a moon base. So I don't think they're really dead. I think they're on a moon base. But it was kind of a joke. But yeah, we're gonna have to have like a pit stop to refuel. You know, there's gonna have to be some kind of a in between. We're gonna have to stop at the moon. There's gonna have to be some kind of deal there. And I think that what he was leading in the I think it was the Washington Post put out there that he thinks that Mars is the moon is part of Mars.
Oh, okay. So like he's saying that it's part of the moon as far as you're gonna need to go to the moon and Mars if you want to go to Mars. You can't just go straight to Mars. But they're thinking he means that the moon is like a regional Mars or something like that.
A chunk of it or something. Like they were twinsies at one time, and Mars. I don't know. I mean, come on, the guy's like 70 years old. He's got to know that the moon is different than Mars.
Right,
you know?
right, of course.
His tweet was, and it turned out to be a funny thing because a lot of people picked up on it and were complaining that what does he think the moon is part of Mars?
No, I see.
It's like no, the mission. You know, so
right, I'm with you.
I think he's done it on purpose too.
And
all right,
all right, now. Well, thank you for the call as always.
Peace, blessings, and hats off to your moderators. They're doing a great job. They caught me.
All right, shout out to the Mars. Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it.
All right, check out that merch, everybody.
All right, no doubt. Peace. All right, shout out to my man Uncle Reggie, aka Kerplunk, in the chat on the stream just now. Thank you for joining. And shout out to the super chatters right quick. Shout out to Jonestown Autopsy who said, ABL, have you ever done a Google image search for Maxine Waters' feet? They are amazing. I've not done the search for that, and hopefully nobody does that because I don't know what you're going to see. But thank you for the donation. Thank you to him as well, who says Trump demands Maxine Waters' birth certificate to prove she's not a man. this guy, you're wild. He also says, Nervous Nancy praying for Trump. Where's a communion wine? Hey, that's a good question. But shout out to Snap Turtle who says, got some info about two people investigating child trafficking being found dead 500 miles apart. Look out for my call. Hey, I don't doubt it because that human trafficking is dead real and is being done by the cartels. And the cartels are like they're not like a little. They are a military force. It's to the point where the cartel is stronger than the Mexico military, and it's not a good thing at all. And not all the time, but sometimes it depends on where they are. But shout out to the chat. If you are just now coming into the chat, please give the video a thumbs up. If you are a new subscriber, please subscribe and share the video as well. It does me a great service, and I appreciate you guys in advance for doing just so. Let me get to my next call. All right, Nippin, what's going on?
Not much. How you doing?
Everything's good, man.
Yeah, here's my son. I've got a second hat now.
There we go. Got the red one. Okay.
Yep, the classic one.
Yes, indeed.
And I have this as well.
Okay, like a wristband type thing?
Yep, it came with the hat.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that's a good deal there. Trump 2020. There we go.
You see, everyone? Vote Trump.
Now, if I was watching the mainstream media, they had me believe that there are no Trump supporters in UK.
Yep, they would. And what happened a few days ago is an absolute disgrace. I'm sorry, it just is.
You're talking about that. You're talking about that.
Attack. Yeah, that elderly man that got beaten up by a bunch of he was a Trump supporter, by a bunch of radical leftists.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, you just can't beat someone up because they have a different opinion to you.
And then the worst part about it is that this was an elderly man. So why would you push this elderly man to the ground? It's crazy.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Yeah, absolutely.
To say the least. I mean, like, you can have your opinions, but you can't hurt someone because they disagree with you.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. You know, the left always the irony is that the left always calls us fascists for having different ideas. Yet they're the ones using. They're the fascists.
100% correct.
If you want to see fascists, look in the mirror.
Right, exactly. I mean, it's funny how they always try to point the finger at the conservatives as fascists, but it's pretty clear who's the fascist and who is not the fascist.
So yeah, this might offend liberals even more. JD.
Got it. Jack Daniels.
Yep. Even though I don't drink, but yeah, it's from the South, so they would say, "Oh, whiskey is racist because the person who founded Jack Daniels had something." I don't know, but you know what I mean. They'll find it.
Like exactly. Everybody is a racist according to the left, for some reason.
Yeah. They'll start saying whiskey is racist next.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, because the founder was a southern white dude from Tennessee.
Exactly.
Yep. And more and more YouTubers are being defunded. You know what? Keep your Patreon up. That's the only way you'll be able to make money now.
Well, it depends on what's going on. Like, it's kind of hard to tell what YouTube is up to because they don't tell you anything. They're very vague and they do that intentionally. So, some guys will be able to get their channels back as far as the monetization is concerned because you're able to reapply in some cases within a month. But yeah, the Patreon is definitely something that helps, which is why I was mad when the dude Sargon of Akkad went and did this hate campaign on Patreon. It's like, what are you doing? The reason why we had Patreon is because YouTube was taking our funding away back in the apocalypse. That's why we got it.
Wasn't Patreon like? Wasn't YouTube like telling Patreon to do something?
No.
As well.
No, Patreon is its own independent thing. What happened with Patreon is they were getting some heat from the payment processors because they had people on the platform that probably shouldn't be there, according to them. So if the payment processors are not allowing you to, transfer monies, then the platform is dead. So because of one or two individuals, everybody suffers.
Yeah. This is becoming, the internet is becoming, I don't know how else to say this, the Reich.
Yeah, is there so many?
We're being treated like the Jews. Mark Zuckerberg is Hitler.
Well, Zuckerberg. Yeah, go ahead.
The thought police on the internet, they act like the Gestapo.
Mm.
Yeah, we're being treated like the Jews, if you think about it.
Well,
the concentration camps where we get demonetized and end up in YouTube or Facebook jail.
Oh.
Yeah. So, Sadiq Khan, yeah, he has basically turned London into an S-hole.
Yes, correct.
I'm sorry, but he just has.
And it shouldn't be that way. It should be, like I saw an article that said that London's crime rate has surpassed New York City. But
oh, come on, that happened a long time ago.
And, like, how is that possible when you have no guns?
That's why it's possible.
Right.
Because that is the reason it's possible. Because there's nobody. There's no way you can protect yourself.
Right. That makes a lot of sense. So people are more
guns,
vulnerable.
But then you can turn normal objects into weapons, like a scissor, for example.
Right. It's like you're in jail or something. You're trying to make shanks.
Yeah. Boom. You can just use a scissor.
Now,
or your car keys.
Now, if you had some scissors out in public, you might get locked up for that, for having scissors, because it's a sharp object.
But they can't lock me up for using my car keys.
That's true. That's very true.
Yeah. So, Mexico have abandoned tariffs.
Well, the Mexico, the tariffs have been abandoned. So basically, we were going to impose tariffs on Mexico coming up, I think, Monday, if they didn't agree to some kind of terms as it relates to the migration crisis. But they have agreed to some terms, so that plan to impose the tariffs has been dropped for now.
Yeah. And the Christian pastor that got is he a Trump supporter?
You said what now?
The Christian pastor that got arrested, is he a Trump supporter?
I don't know. I have no idea, because, you know, first of all, I think he's a Canadian in Toronto. I could be wrong about that, but I think he is. But beyond that, I've not heard about any of his political beliefs.
Yeah, I doubt he is.
He might not be.
Yeah,
he might not be, but that's okay, because, you know, what happened to him still represents what happens to people that are Christian in the West in general.
Yeah, I bet you any money if it was an Islamic imam, he would not get arrested.
Never in a million years. You can say whatever he wants. Nobody's going to touch him.
Yeah, like I said, look, Donald Trump on numerous occasions has said that he will protect the lives of gay people. What have Muslims done? They continuously kill and stone gays.
That's right. I mean, you go to certain countries, you can't even, it's illegal to be a homosexual. So it's
there
kind of,
are some parts of London. There are some parts of London in which KFC doesn't sell bacon because it might offend other people's feelings.
Right. It's basically you have certain parts of London that have become Islamified.
Yeah, they don't give like a lot of burgers have a lot of chicken fillet burgers have the option to add bacon and cheese, a bacon streak. They said we can't give you bacon anymore because of too many Muslims in the area. I'm sorry. I don't care. I don't care how many Muslims there are. But I like my bacon.
I hear you on that for sure.
If they don't want bacon, they can simply say you can. There are other things on the menu which don't have bacon.
That's right. That's 100% correct, man. But hey, I gotta get to a few more calls because the lines are jumping, man. I thank you for the call, though. Definitely appreciate you.
It was nice speaking to you, ABL.
Oh, as always, definitely appreciate it.
Shall see you on Thursday.
Thursday your time, Wednesday my time.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Peace.
All right. Shout out to my man Nipper for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. Nipper's a great caller all the time. And the lines are jumping. I'm going to try to get to everybody as soon as I can. Y'all just hang tight. 470, you on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello. Hey, Anthony. How you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm good, Anthony. I ain't spoke to you in a couple of shows, Anthony. How you been?
Everything is just fine. Can't complain.
Well, I'm back.
Okay, that's nice. That's great.
Ain't you glad I'm back, Anthony?
Hey, I'm just running this show. I don't have no personal feelings involved. What's going on though?
Oh, I'm feeling good, Anthony. I just been getting ready for Gay Pride Month. You know, it's the month that we gonna do our thing, Anthony.
That's great. That's fantastic. I'm not interested in that, but hey, if you want to do that, that's your business.
You should come down and partake in some of our festivities, Anthony.
Hey, I think not. Y'all can have all the fun. Y'all enjoy that, but I'm good over here doing what I'm doing.
Well, Anthony, you just don't want to come have some fun with us in Atlanta. You know we the clunky city in the South, Anthony.
Hey, that's too much for me. I'm good over here where I'm at. Y'all can have all the fun down there. Y'all can do whatever y'all want. Paint the town red. That's what you want to do. Then go for it.
Excuse me, Anthony, and us is already red, Anthony. We is the Falcons, Anthony. Get it right, boo. Rise up, Anthony. Rise up. But anywho, what's going on with Hillary Clinton, Anthony? Ain't somebody that did something to her little brother, Anthony?
Yeah, Tony put not Tony, but that's Tony Rodham. Her brother died.
Oh, that just make me sad, Anthony. I hate when people die, Anthony.
Hey, sometimes you gotta go. If you gotta go, you gotta go. You know, he was a guy that was on the board that looted Haiti with the fake gold mine after the earthquake. So I'm not really sure where he's at right now, but he might need to get him an AC unit because it ain't too cool down there where he's at. The caller's Obama phone decided to click off. I did not do that. I didn't hang up. See, my hands are down here. Hey, if I had my hands up here, then I would hang up. But nah, the Obama phone is out of minutes, so that's not my fault. So shout out to the caller. I think it is Kevin, and I'm gonna call Kevin and be like, "Yo, is that you on the phone?" I've not confronted him with that yet. I think it is him though. But shout out to the caller and shout out to my man Kevin from Kevin's Corner and also Amazing Lucas, my brothers. But let me get to my next call. 240, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
It's JB. What's up, brother?
What's going on, JB?
Nothing but another day of a doubt. You know how that go.
And no doubt. You kind of low, though, on your volume a little bit.
Okay. Is this better?
Keep talking.
Is that better?
A little bit. Go ahead.
Yeah, but yeah, man, it's getting crazy. Did you see? The preacher, man? This is getting crazy. Canada is like the worst place to ever live in life. To be any LGBTQRS MIT. It's like it gets longer every year. So I made a joke on Facebook. I said, they said they refuse to hang the LGBT flag. I said, we need a straight flag. I said, we need a straight flag, and we'll take the victimhood away from them. They don't get mad. And one gay guy said, how could you say that? You're so homophobic. I said, I want a straight flag. What?
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that. I mean, look, I say it like this. You can have your gay flag, and that's fine. You could put that in the back of your truck, whatever you want to do. But let me have a straight flag. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Let's be tolerant and let everybody do what they want. How about that?
That's what I'm saying too. It's like they don't allow to be victims. And I said the Democrats are pushing for 1% of the vote population. That is a guaranteed fail in anybody's category who can do math. Am I right?
Absolutely. Yeah, that won't get you where you're trying to go. Now you may get some people that are sympathetic towards them that'll vote because of that reason, but it's not going to be enough to move the needle. You just doing some PR stunt type stuff.
Exactly, and they don't understand that, and then flip flopping Joe Biden with his California sandals on. You know what I'm saying? He's the most flip-flopping dude I've met in my life. Well, I'm against it, now I'm for it. I don't know. Well, I talked to my wife. You just now talking to your wife about some issues?
Yeah, I mean, the guy is, 76 years old. He been in politics since the dawn of man. Now, all of a sudden, you didn't have an epiphany. Whereas on Wednesday, you had the same stance you've been had since you were born.
The Democrats' party's falling apart. They're gonna have to regroup, but the far left is killing everything. And then this whole YouTube apocalypse thing, and they're trying to silence everybody. All these things YouTube is doing now is they're pushing people to other sites to watch stuff. And watch what I say. Next 2 years, YouTube is going to have so much competition. Would you not agree?
Well, I hope so, because competition breeds better products. When you're the only person that's really out here doing anything, you have no real incentive to actually cater to those that are on your platform who may be kind of in the fringe space. You could do whatever you want because you're the only one out there. So hopefully we have more competition. That's going to definitely breed better results.
And I was reading an article. They said they're trying to push for people like what's the name of that old site that come out besides Facebook? What do they call it?
Black Planet.
Not Black Planet.
MySpace.
Something they're pushing. Yeah, MySpace, Black Planet. They're trying to push them to come back stronger. And surprisingly, I didn't know MySpace was still around. Did you?
It's still there, but it's not like it's like a shell of its former self. It's barely there, but it ain't nothing really going on over there.
I'm just hoping they get some competition because Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, he's knocked off the throne because he's just too much of a cuck. He is like a soy boy. You know what I'm saying? I'm just tired of this PC culture. Like, did you hear about the article about the guy at West Point who got accused of rape by his girl sleeping in her what's her name, sleeping in her tent, her sleeping bag, and he said she said she got raped by him. My thing is like if you didn't yell or scream or nothing like that, and the guy didn't deny he slept with her or anything, and he got off, and a lot of females are upset about that. I'm like, why? Because he got a fair trial and he got off with a rape trial. I said, this whole Me Too thing or women are always right. It's got to stop because it's falsifying men and not raping them. Just because you can't sleep me one day and then feel bad the next day. Would you not agree, ABL?
Yeah, that's not how you got to be able to, prove something that's actually going on. You can't just accuse somebody of doing something and then, just have people believe it off of your accusation. That's not how it's supposed to go.
Well, look at that last comment I had, but yo, I'm falling in love with Days Gone. ABL, I'm playing it right now. I'm starting to fall in love with this thing. I hated it first. I was like, why the hell? Why are zombies moving as fast as I am? But I'm starting to like it.
It kind of grew on you?
Yeah, it kind of grew on me. So, ABL, when you get yours for $20, which you already got it, right?
I might have to go get it. It's on sale. I thought it was gonna be 20, but it's down to 40. But that still might be enough for me to get it. So I don't know. We'll see.
That's just bad. I'm telling you, you're gonna like it. It's just an open world game, and it's not so much online like hoopla with the Division. I like Division, but it's Division when it's soft on because everybody's like, oh my God, you're talking trash. Oh my God, you hurt my feelings. I'm gonna report. I got reported from Microsoft, and I got an email talking about Mr. Brown, trouble man, 567. You can't tell somebody shut up and go to hell. I'm like, what? I didn't call him no name, and I just told him shut up and go to hell.
Right.
All right, ABL. Keep the faith, brother, man. And hey, if they come for you, ABL, I got the shotguns ready. I got the what's the name, the phone log ready. We gonna stop them from coming after you, brother. All right.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, brother. Peace.
All right, now. All right. Shout out to my man JB for the call. I have Division 2 already. I got it on PS4. I got a new graphics card coming like Thursday. It'll help me, number one, with my editing. Because I'm noticing when I'm editing my videos, sometimes it's kind of choppy. It's kind of hard to explain. When I'm doing my playback to get a certain cut, it's kind of choppy. So I've upgraded my graphics card, and with that, I have the Division 2 and World War Z. It came free with the card. So I'm like, all right, cool, let's get it. But the purpose really is to help with the rig just run a little bit faster. Custom built rig over there. Yeah. So shout out to everybody in the chat. Let me get to my next call here. 323 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
That Turtle in the building. What's good, brother?
Everything's good, man. What's going on?
Okay, so not much. Shout out to everybody in the chat. So, man, I got some interesting news for you, man.
All right, what's going
on? Those two people that I told you about that were investigating child trafficking, 500 miles apart, were both former senators.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah. Hold on. So, can you hear me?
I can't really hear you.
Okay, so let me give you the next. So one of them, her name is One of his name is Jonathan Nicholas, right? He's a senator out of Oklahoma, okay? And the other one is Linda Collins Smith, right? Linda Collins Smith. They were both in their 50s, okay? They're both former senators, and they were investigating child trafficking. Guess where Linda Collins is from? Guess where her state is?
Where?
Arkansas. Who's from Arkansas?
Bill and Hillary. Well, Bill.
And guess who's younger brother was found dead and was supposed to testify.
Was that Tony Rodham?
Yes.
Hillary Clinton's younger brother.
Yes. This is getting crazy, man.
Wow. So wait a minute. Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay. So hold on. Let's pause for a moment. Now, Tony Rodham.
Okay.
I did not know he was going to testify. I did not know he was involved in any kind of legal action. What's going on with Tony Rodham? Like, what was happening with him before he died?
I'm not sure, but they are investigating a lot of this Pizzagate stuff, this child trafficking, and a lot of it is connected to the Clinton Foundation and Haiti and children missing from Haiti and things like that. And all this stuff is connected and is being investigated, and people are dying. People have been dying around Hillary and Bill for years, right? You know that.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
That.
It's a long list.
It's close to home.
Yeah.
It's a long list. So now what we have are two senators dying within 2 days of each other, 500 miles apart, in Hillary's little brother. Now, I need to look further into this, but as far as the little brother, but this is the information I'm getting, and I want to check into the little brother thing a little further. I want to find out if he really was supposed to testify, and he might not have been a witness against them, right? Against Bill and Hillary and their little cabal of freaks, but he might not be able to stand up to the pressure, and they might know that. So I don't know. I'm not saying nothing, but this is very interesting information. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, definitely, 100%.
Oh my God, it's at the end of the day, it's really not about left or right, up, down, in, out. It's about the children.
Yeah.
And our children are under attack constantly. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, what is it? How many kids go missing a year?
I don't know,
right?
but I know the number is high.
Tens of thousands, right? Tens of thousands of children go missing a year, right? Off the street, off of busy streets in metropolises, right?
Right.
But if my black ass or somebody, not even black, but if somebody broke into a car, right, used a coat hanger and break into the car on the street, the cops will be on them in a hot second.
Oh, yeah.
With all these cameras, all these witnesses, no one is seeing the children. There's no camera footage of children being snatched up, but nothing like that.
Yeah, so
I'm always seeing. Go ahead.
It could be a deeper thing going on here that we're not really
Exactly.
privy to.
Where's the footage?
Yeah.
I have not seen any footage of children being snatched off the street. But if you go to foreign countries, like look up foreign countries, kids being snatched off the street, you see it every day because there's cameras everywhere, even in like second and third world countries. So these children, you can see them being snatched up. It breaks my heart every time I see it, but it's crazy. Like, and then missing organs, like the one soldier, a veteran, it's crazy, killed and missing organs. This stuff is getting crazy. So, I just want to bring a little attention to that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you're doing a great job, and I don't mind telling you this stuff. But I want to look into Tony's, whatever he was supposed to be doing. I want to find out a little bit more about that. So, yeah. And as far as the TAPS Act, I was going to do a live tomorrow breaking down the whole announcement of it, like the whole speech from Senator Babin out of Texas. What is that his name? Well, he introduced this thing, so I wanted to. I was going to do a little something on that tomorrow morning. But
okay.
Yeah. So I was going to break down because they use a lot of euphemisms when they announced this thing, and guess who's endorsing this? Dan Crenshaw is endorsing this bill. Of all people.
Okay.
So that, I mean, I don't know what's going on, man. And they're saying that 80 Congress people already are for this bill. Half of them are Republican, half are Democrats. Like, isn't this like the same thing that happened when the Patriot Act came out? Remember the Patriot Act?
Yeah, but I don't remember like the circumstances surrounding how it came out.
Well, okay, so the Patriot Act, it came about because they were operating under the obstacles, whatever, I forgot how to pronounce it, but it was supposed to be to flush out terrorists in our country, right?
Right.
But what happened was they had to have something to put behind that. They couldn't just say, "Oh, we're going to tap your phone. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to start committing rendition and snatching people off the street that we feel are terrorists." So there had to be something that to go behind that. There had to be something like a good tragedy, right?
Yeah.
Can't let a good tragedy go to waste.
That's right.
So it's the Hegelian dialectic, right? Problem, reaction, solution, right?
Mm-hmm.
Create a problem, get the people to react, and provide a solution that was already pre-planned.
That's right.
So these are things that are being done. I don't know, but you know, I just wanted to bring that to your attention. And as always, keep up the good work, my brother.
Well, thank you for the call.
And yeah, hey, no problem, man. Peace.
Peace. All right, thank you to the caller. That was Snap Turtle. I put a link to his channel, so if you guys want to see more from him, I'll put a link to his channel right here in the box. Again, that was Snap Turtle on the call. Most certainly appreciate him. And shout out to everybody that has called so far. I really appreciate you guys for chiming on in. Let me get to my next call here. All right, Victor, what's going on?
Hey, thanks for taking my call.
No problem.
Yeah, I'm not on video because I'm looking crazy right now. Okay, just let you know.
That's all good.
Yeah, so Trump won the tariff war.
Yeah, apparently so. You know, like Mexico said, well, Trump said Mexico has agreed to do something about the illegal immigration, and we're going to see how it affects us coming up here really soon.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because when the news broke out, the people against Trump on Facebook were saying that, yeah, Trump lost. And I'm saying to myself, you know that Mexico is sending troops to the southern border to stop the mass migration, right?
Yeah, see, they don't want to, you know, all they see is, okay, there's no tariffs, so then that means Trump just caved and he fell back. Nah, I mean, look, it's all about negotiation. You put something out there and you say, okay, if you don't want that, then let's do this. And if we can get a deal worked out, then we're good. You'll be able to avoid the tariffs. But if you can't get a deal worked out, then enjoy them tariffs.
Yeah, and I do want to congratulate the liberal media for being a little bit honest about the situation, because they were actually reporting how there has been an increase of illegal immigration crossing the border. So they're just putting a light on this. These mass migration is becoming a problem.
Oh, yeah, they keep talking about all these children that are up there and how they're being shoved into cages. Okay, so we know it's a problem. Let's solve the problem.
Yeah, exactly. So about the pastor that got arrested in Canada, I don't know what he said, but from the conversation I had recently with somebody, no matter what he says, it's going to be seen as an attack. Because on Facebook, there was a picture that a person passed around on Facebook. Basically, it was about the problem of evil, and this one guy mentioned how why people are commenting on his posts. He already made up his mind about it. You don't need to comment on it. And I replied to him saying that, well, reading some of the comments, is really directed towards to other people who are interested in learning the other side of the argument. And he said to me, well, obviously you didn't pay attention to the people attacking him by saying, I pray for you and stuff like that. And I'm like, wait, they say that they would pray for him? How is that an attack on him? Where's the malicious intent on that?
Right. It doesn't make any sense. Like, how is that? I mean, that's a good thing to do, to pray for somebody.
Yeah, exactly. So, 2 weeks, I guess it was 2 weeks ago with the Memorial holiday.
I think so. Yeah. Or it
Yeah.
might have been this past weekend.
Okay. So, yeah, during the Memorial holiday, Baltimore had a bunch of kids running around, beating up people, and stealing from them in the park during Memorial Day weekend. And there's one thing that they weren't really pointing out. A bunch of those kids, it was a lot of kids. They were all black, attacking mostly white pedestrians.
Yeah, that's something that they don't want to point that out because, really there is a racial component there. Like, a lot of these kids come from East Baltimore, West Baltimore, go down the harbor, and then they know they can find white people that got some money. A lot of them come from out of town, and they're going to attack them to try to either, just get money or to just feel like they are superior to them. It's a race. It's kind of an envy thing. That happens all over the place. That's why in a situation that happened in, I think London, where the couple got attacked, the lesbian couple got attacked. They're talking about, it was 5 teenagers. Well, can you be a little bit more descriptive? I mean, can we get a picture? Can we get a name? Can we get something? They don't want to talk about that because they know what's really going on. It probably was 5 young black teens or 5 Muslims.
Yeah, and these attacks weren't like hidden. These were blatant, out in the public. You would think that it was one of those Ferguson riots when you see the video. The amount of teens that were out there. It was probably over 100 teens that was out there attacking innocent people.
Oh yeah.
And then when they got the adults to talk about it, they said that, well, the problem is that the city keeps closing down rec centers, so the kids don't have anywhere to go. So does that mean that they don't have any home training whatsoever?
Right. So it's like, okay, since I can't go play basketball right now, what I'm going to do is get with 1,000 of my friends and beat up on white tourists. How much sense that make? That's ridiculous to even think that.
Yeah, exactly. So the last thing I want to mention is just one word: hope. Do you get it?
No.
Just exactly. Just saying that one word, it just means nothing. I was at the men's Bible study today, and the Bible study was on hope. And then as we were during our discussion, we talked about the Obama. I believe it was his campaign for the second term, where he used that slogan, hope. And we're like, okay, it doesn't carry any meaning. Just like the last time I talked to you, when I said love wins, but they don't have any meaning to it. It's the same thing with hope, and it seems like everything today, how the term called relativism, where everything is becoming relative. These words are just empty, don't carry any type of meaning at all. And I would tell people this is that go back and study the Greek word for word, which calls logos. Logos means word, but it just means more than just word. It carries meaning and it carries purpose. And when we take out the purpose and meaning out of words, it's just empty and we're just lost, and and everything becomes chaotic.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah. So anyway, thanks for taking my call.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right. Bye.
All right. That was a great call from my man, Victor. Most certainly appreciate him. And shout out to everybody in the chat. You guys are fantastic. I got a little bit of time to go. The number to call is 434-658-1220. You can also call in through Skype. There is an email for that in the description box below. But shout out to everybody. Our super chats, did I read them? Hold on, give me 1 second here. I should have all the super chats read. Maybe I don't. Okay, I'll find that. All right. I'm gonna read some of the chat here. Let's see what you guys are talking about here. All right. Let me get to my next call. All right, SOBC, what's happening?
Hey, what's going on, ABL? Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you well.
Oh, great. So I was just listening to the caller earlier. I liked his call, the Christian caller. And I agree with him 1,000% about his opinion about that preacher that got arrested.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, on your platform, ABL, you welcome all opinion, right?
That's right.
Even those who disagree with you, you welcome it, because your calling show is an open forum, right?
That's right.
Exactly. So with the tenets of Christianity, God comes to people who seek him, right? Jesus went out back. I mean, I said this during the last show. Jesus went out he didn't go preaching at people. People came to him and they asked him questions. They asked him things, and he preached. He preached to them. He didn't preach at them. So, and the worst thing any person can do is try to impose their opinion on someone else. We know these homosexuals don't want to listen to anything from the Bible. They don't want to listen to anything that has to do with Christianity. They don't want to listen to that. So this pastor was very wrong. I mean, according to the Bible, he was wrong in what he did. And this is why I disagree a lot with street preachers. They go and preach at people. The Bible also tells us that you're supposed to be the light of the world, as in, live by the tenets of God and shine that light onto the world. You don't shine it by imposing your opinion or preaching at people. It doesn't work like that. So that's why I think that preacher deserved what he got. But I mean, according to the law, I think there was a little bias against him when it came to the law, because that was a public space and he had the right to be there, right? But when it comes to teaching, to the teachings of Christianity, he failed on that one.
Yeah, see, I can't really, comment too much on that, because I'm not really coming from the religious point of view. I'm looking at it just from, was he correct? Like, was he within his rights to be out there? Now, I'm not sure about Canadian law. I was reading up on it, and I saw some of the news coverage, and then the police were talking about, well, this could be a hate crime, and we got to find more information and more video to see if it was any kind of hatred, said towards them from him, but it wasn't that. And the news media were trying to frame it that way, like he was some kind of hateful person just spreading hate, but that wasn't seen in any of the video. So from the legal point of view, they're talking about hateful language, then they can't say that. But as far as a debate between Christians about, what's the proper way to preach, have a church and have your flock come to you, or be out there in the street, that's something for people that are in that faith to discuss. That's not really, if it were me, if I had my opinion, if I were religious, I wouldn't be against that kind of stuff. But in my position right now, that's not really for me to say.
And just to correct you on something, ABL, Christianity is not a religion. Christianity is a faith. It's a belief. It's a faith in God. Baptist, Protestant, Catholic, Catholics, those are religions. Those are man-made religions. So I think a lot of people conflate the two terms, religion and faith. For me, when people ask me, "What religion are you?" I don't believe in religion. I believe in the faith. I believe in Christianity, which is a faith, and that means having faith in God and believing in God. You know, it's not. Religion to me sounds a little man-made, and you know, that's just my opinion on that.
Okay.
Yeah. And another thing about just to kind of nice segue here, just to kind of stay in that lane of Christianity, right? There's also another verse in the Bible that tells us that you'll judge them by their fruit. You'll judge a person by the things he does, but not what he says, but the things he does. And for me, I think Trump is. When Trump was campaigning, he was saying, "Oh, I'm a Second Amendment president. I'm gonna be for the Second Amendment, and no one's gonna infringe on your rights." But I think he's been slacking on gun control. He supported NRA's push for banning the bump stock, and just recently he was talking about. He doesn't agree with silencers on guns, and then after that shooting in Florida, he kind of sided with the red flag laws. He was like, "Oh, I'll take the guns first, and then we'll go to court later." So for me, I don't think he's been fighting enough for me on gun control. And for me personally, I'm a 2-issue voter. I'm for guns and pro-life. Those are the two things that really matter to me. And and those two things has not been delivering on those two things. Even on abortion, he came out and said, "Oh, rape, incest, and all that." I'm just, if you're for abortion, you're either for abortion or you're not for abortion. So anyway, well, I'm still looking at him, and we'll wait until 2020, and we'll see what happens.
100%. I appreciate the call, man. As always.
All right, ABL, take care.
All right, same to you.
All
right. Shout out to my man SOBC for the call. Yeah, the thing about abortion, the not including rape, incest, life of the mother, that's kind of a new thing when it comes to outlawing abortion or trying to heavily restrict it. But I think that we should have that be the case. It doesn't matter how a baby was conceived. The baby is still a baby. The only time you would be able to say, all right, abortion is if there's no other alternative for the mother to live. Usually, a baby is still able to be born through a C-section if the mother's life is in jeopardy. But if not, then it's like, okay, either you're going to die or the baby's going to die. You got to pick. But aside from that, no. So it's just a matter of, but then you got to be able to work with the left, though, and get compromises. So you could be extreme and say, okay, this is what I want, and that's it, and don't get it, and then you back at square one. You've got nothing to accomplish. So you got to be able to, kind of bend but don't break in order to get things done. And if you don't, you won't get anything done. But let me get to my next call. 416 on the line. I'm speaking to.
Hi, it's Cigar Box.
All right, Cigar Box. What's going on?
Oh man, just the world is wild. About that street preacher. I live in Toronto, and I think it was 2 years ago, Black Lives Matter hijacked the Pride Parade that happens here.
I remember that.
Yeah, and they put a list of demands out for the city, and they said we're not gonna. They blocked it. We're not gonna let the parade go on. Blah blah, unless you guys agree to all these demands. and I don't like anybody doing stuff like that. So, but anyway, one of the demands was no cops in the parade, and because we used to have uniformed cops, and they would just dance around and like gay cops, right? And I got a funny feeling that they arrested that preacher as a way of sucking up to them.
Oh, okay.
You know, it's just a feeling I got, but I really think that that's what they did. I mean, like, why else would they really give a damn? That guy has been preaching before downtown in different areas. I saw him get into an argument with a Muslim before. He was just preaching in general, and the Muslim guy just lost it on him. And so they were having quite the back and forth, and it almost turned into something ugly, but it didn't. But he just preaches on the street. Right. And so I don't care what he does. If he wants to do that and I don't want to hear it, then I just walk by. Why people just can't do that, I don't know. You know, why you have to get all bent out of shape and get in somebody's face. I mean, let them do their thing. Let them stand out there and let their throat go raw. If you don't like it, who cares?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, he wasn't doing any harm to anybody. So I don't know. That's just the way I look at it anyhow. It's the same thing as that retard on who's trying to get everybody banned.
Yeah.
Like, what's his problem? Seriously, like, what's his problem? Like, he goes out there, he says all these weird things, then wonders why Crowder says it back at him. He says vicious things, and I'm wondering how come nobody's got in his face and got him canceled and him thrown off the platform, because he's disgusting when he does stuff like that. Personally, like I said, I don't care what anybody says. I agree with a full, you should be able to say anything you want. I don't care if it's hate, because at least if they say hate, I know who to avoid. You know, that's how I look at it. Let somebody come out and use all the hate speech they want. Doesn't matter to me. As long as they're not actually doing anything and physically harming anyone, I don't have a problem with anything that they say. Words don't do anything. You know, they don't hurt anybody regardless of what these people say. They can say words hurt all they want, but they really don't. You know, when it gets right down to it.
Absolutely.
So anyhow, that's all I wanted to say. It was just my opinion on what I think is going on in this city, this retarded city that I live in. And thanks a lot for taking my call. I'll talk to you later, Anthony. Bye.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you. All right. Thank you to Cigar Box for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. All right. I see a little bit of dust up in the chat. Somebody's upset about people being pro-life. That's fine. You know, everybody got their opinion. Don't get so triggered. You know, when people get triggered, it lets me know that, you know, like where does the term triggered come from? That's when something's inside of you that's just kind of waiting there, just like a sleeping dog, and you trigger it, and it just springs into action. That's when you get triggered. You know, it's something inside of you that gets woken up due to certain little words or phrases that are said. Trigger words, trigger phrases. Don't get triggered. Okay, I don't even know what's going on. I'm trying to catch up on it. Who is upset about the, you know, being pro-life? Who could be against being pro-life? Yeah, people are kind of weird, but it is what it is. Now, see, the thing about America, we have certain rights here that are starting to kind of go away. You got to have your freedom of religion, freedom of speech. and we should protect the lives of innocent children. These should be very basic things that we hold pretty close. Oh, okay. I see what's going on. The person is talking about how they are against abortion. Like, nah, they say they don't want to. They don't want anybody to get an abortion, but at the same time, they say you should be able to choose it. Like, it's crazy. If you have an abortion, what is it? Either you killing the baby or you not killing the baby. It is what it is. If you're not killing the baby, then what is a baby? When does life begin? Answer that. And if you are killing the baby, then why? What gives you the right to kill a baby? It's simple. And all of this started just from, eugenics, trying to, cull the population, get numbers down, and have less undesirable people in the world. What Margaret Sanger say, the blacks, the Jews, and the Asians, so-called useless eaters. In China, they fixed that just to have the one-child policy. So a lot of baby girls are being aborted, thrown into. They had one baby get flushed down the toilet after it was born. I'm talking about a full goo goo gaga baby. They had to open up the wall of an apartment, cut open the PVC pipe where the actual toilet, drain, whatever you want to call it, was, and cut the baby out. Luckily, the baby survived. I don't know how the baby got into the toilet, like how the baby's head got into the toilet and was flushed down the pipe, but they were able to save it. That's what happens in China. And Margaret Sanger was like, yo, we don't even got to do all that. Let's just kill the baby before it's born. And that's what it's all about. Population control, trying to kill human beings. Because let's be clear, we're talking about human beings. We ain't talking about a clump of cells. We're talking about people. And the best way to reduce population is to prevent humans from being born. Crying rooms in Asia. I think I heard about that. But I'm not. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I think I have heard about that. Yeah, I'm gonna look into that. Thank you, Pontiac Man 75. And shout out to the super chatters right quick. Shout out to Tsunami, who says the cops that arrested the preacher were gay cops. They had gay pride medallions attached to their uniforms, as Amazing Lucas would say, the G Mafia. Well, thank you for the donation. Definitely appreciate you. And shout out to D Stroud for the donation. Definitely appreciate you, boss. Yeah, abortion shouldn't be a thing, but it is, unfortunately. China has a one-child policy in certain places. It's not over the entire nation. It's like 50% in the nation, and then some parts got two-child policy. It just depends on where you are in rural areas, or if you're in Beijing or something like that. It just depends. It's a really big area geographically. You're talking about like 1.2, 1.3 billion people. I mean, imagine how much that is. In the U.S., we got about 325 to 340 million people. So imagine that times 4. It's spread over a humongous geographic area. Vastly different. Like southern China, you're talking about like Florida. But northern China, you're talking about Russia. You're talking about like almost Siberia, depending upon where you are, northern China. Yeah, I saw. I was in the chat for a little while on Lucas's live stream, SOBC. Yeah, hey, Lucas is super popular. He's the most popular YouTuber out of. I would say he's right up there with Candace and Brandon. Yeah, he's very popular. So shout out to my man Lucas doing his thing. He should do that more often as far as the live streams are concerned, for sure, because he can just go in there and get it jumping. It was like 2,000-3,000 people in there. Yeah, it was good. All right, let me see. I'm reading the chat a little bit to see what you guys are talking about. I got a little bit of time. I'm gonna just read the chat. I think I'm done with the calls. Yeah. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try to go see what's that? Dark Phoenix. I heard that it wasn't good. I saw Lucas's video about it, and I saw a few other people's video about it. Normally, I don't watch movie reviews before I see the movie. I watch the review after, so I can see if my opinion about it matches up to their opinion, or if I saw it the same way they did. But I figured this wouldn't be a good movie, so I was like, man, forget it. But I may see it just because I want to see. Like, I grew up watching the X-Men animated series and also reading the comics. So the Dark Phoenix saga is a thing that, like, I had the original Dark Phoenix saga on an animated series taped on VHS. This was like, I don't know when, 94, 93, something right around then, early 90s, early to mid 90s. It wasn't quite 95, 96. I was a little bit too old, but probably like 94 or 93. I've not spoken to E.T. Williams lately, but I can give him a ring and see what's going on. But I ain't spoke to him lately. But I'll see what's happening with him. I might get him back on the show. See if he's trying to come back and, let me know what's happening. That'd be good. I heard Godzilla was okay, but I've not heard a whole lot about it. But I might go see that too. Gojira. Let me see what else. What else is out? I heard that movie Ma. I heard that was. I've heard mixed reviews about that. Sometimes the reviews of a movie aren't always accurate. Same thing with games. Same thing with TV shows, books, whatever. A lot of times it just depends on the person that is actually watching it and what their personal opinion about certain things are. Oh, and Netflix, Prescott, Netflix is going to get even worse because what they're going to do is have Barack and Michelle Obama produce content for them. I think they're going to be doing podcasts. Can you imagine the Barack and Michelle podcast, what it's going to be about? I mean, you're talking about liberal propaganda. Good grief. And then they have this, I'm really behind on my movies. I just don't have no time. I got to watch, it's a Spike Lee movie on Netflix I wanted to watch. I think that in the Spike Lee Netflix movie, check this out. Here's a plot. It's not a spoiler. It's in the trailer. The plot is that they got these kids that built a time traveling machine, and what they want to do is go back in time and prevent their brother from being shot by the police. I was like, really? You want to go back in time for that? So you don't go back in time to look at the dinosaurs and, be in World War II or to be around when Jesus was walking. You want to be around to stop a police shooting? Really? That's what you want to do? Pure SJW stuff. But Spike Lee has found his lane. Spike Lee has resorted to wearing hats that have little Klan members on it, little Klan logos on it, because it makes some money. These people out here talking about all this SJW stuff, in my opinion, they really don't believe it. It just makes them money. It's financially, because Spike and Hollywood people in general, they just pretty much flow with what's happening right now. Alyssa Milano, I mean, what was she doing before she came out here talking about Me Too? She came out there and said that. All of a sudden now, she has a lot of attention, a lot of eyes on her. Her career has become revitalized. So I know it's some money involved. You're getting big time donations. You're getting big time funding. So this is what you do now. You just want to become part of the resistance to get your next check. It's simple. People flip, flop, and change. That's all it's about. You can make movies, make money on SJW stuff, then that's what they're going to do. That's how they operate at this point. And it's really a shame. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find Spike Lee's hat with the little things on it. Hold on. Give me a moment. Let's see if I can find that. Now, I know I saw it. I think I got to search for a recent picture of him, and then I'll be able to see what's going on. Okay, matter of fact, it's a perfect picture right here. There we go. Now, you see this picture here? You see these little, that's like a Klan logo right there, or his own version of a Klan logo. He had a movie called Black Klansman. So in order to promote the movie, this guy has on pins on his collar, one on his collar right here, And then right here in the center of his forehead, this is a black circle with a square, like a Klan hood and 2 eyes right there. And the same one is right there on his lapel. Okay, you can see it a little bit clearly right there with the square, I mean, with the triangle, and right there as well. So this is what we're doing now, Spike Lee. You got to put on Klan stuff to promote yourself. I mean, it's shameless. It's totally shameless and shameful, but it is what it is, man. You got to get that money, right? You know, you got to get paid. Spike Lee don't care. These celebrities care not about what they, money is the motivating factor here. I don't know. If Spike Lee, he might be gay. I don't know. Who knows? Hollywood, he could be gay if the money was right. if it was big enough check, he'd be whatever he wants. Now, you know what? Netflix, I kind of hate. I get Netflix every now and again, but I find myself getting Netflix. Like, here's a cycle that happens with Netflix and me. I get it on a free trial to see one particular thing. It might be a movie or like something, an anime I wanted to watch or something weird. And I might watch a little bit of it and say it was garbage and I turn it off. And then it comes time to renew. I'm like, okay, I'll renew it and see if they got anything else. And then nothing else. And I end up canceling it for like 3 months. And then I get the free trial. And then that's how it usually works. But I think that I'm going to go ahead and cancel it for real. The content ain't really good. YouTube TV has better like, I'd rather watch YouTube than Netflix or anything else for the most part. Because you guys that are content creators and also the people that watch it make YouTube a great place for content rather than watching the corporate sponsor SJW infused nonsense that they're trying to push as quality programming. Not trying to hear that at all. Hey, it's like a gay bus driver. That's hilarious. Hey, celebrities and Netflix. Yeah, I'm not a Netflix fan. YouTube all day. That's really, really where it's at. Or that's why I like anime and stuff. Give me Crunchyroll because, even though it's animated, it's more, in my opinion, mature programming and it's a deeper message than some of the live action stuff that is on television or on Netflix, which ain't nothing but an extension of television. Netflix is like a TV channel with a bunch of stuff on it that you pay a subscription for. Mr. Angry says, I canceled Netflix, too woke for me. Yeah, it might be a little bit too woke for me, too. I might be right there with you, boss. All right. Torrents. Nah, I can't get into no torrents at all. That ain't, that's old school, getting torrents. I remember those days. Back when I was bootlegging, that's a different story. I don't do nothing like that no more. But let me go ahead and just be out of here. It's a little past my time, so thank y'all for joining. I definitely appreciate you. I will be back streaming again live on Wednesday. Of course, every Wednesday and Saturday, same time, 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern time. And I'll be back doing regular shows, regular pre-recorded stuff all throughout the week. I may do one tomorrow, but if not, I'll be back Monday. I'm going to try to do 2 a day. And that's pretty much all I got. Thank you to the moderators for doing a great job of getting rid of the trolls and controlling the comment section pretty well. You got Elijah Jean, Bill from the Hills, T-Pain, Protocol, Shreebs, everybody. Thank y'all for being here. Elijah Jean, of course. Sushi, I see you, boss. Thank y'all for doing what you do. Most certainly appreciate it. And, we also have Discord. If you guys want to join the conversation and continue it a little bit more, there's a link to the Discord in the description box below. Check it out. You can join it at any time. Sometimes it's jumping. You could be in there talking, texting, whatever you want to do, and it's free. It's a community of people that watch my channel that enjoy the content. Great community. Again, the Discord link is in the box. But that is pretty much all I got. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out and peace.